And we are live on this Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Weekend, Cyber Monday, weekend of weekends. And I think we can all be thankful for, first of all, that Michael Flynn has been pardoned by President Trump, which is fantastic. So glad he did that. And I hope he pardons Snowden and Assange next. So we'll see if that happens. But what do you guys think of all that? I know that's a few days ago, and we're going to go more and to dive deeper into the election itself and how it's unraveling and the legal processes are there playing out. But what do you guys think? Michael Flynn freed, best thing ever for a Thanksgiving pardon.
I think that's great. I mean, I don't know. The only thing I'd think that'd be better is if he pardoned Julian Assange.
That'd be a ballsy pardon.
Yeah,
Well, why not?
it would be because I don't, and we talked about this in previous episodes too. It's hard to pardon somebody when they're still. It's hard for a pardon to be really effective when they're still in the custody of another country. Like he's still in England and he's still in prison. So like it's hard for us to really go, oh, if you've pardoned him, it doesn't really hold as much weight if he's other than if he would be here. Like if he was in the United States and he was pardoned, that'd be a completely different story. But
well, does the U.S. have any charges on him?
Yeah, I think they did.
We might, but I mean
they're trying to extradite him.
But even if but I mean, there's other countries that are trying to fucking grab his ass too.
Like, and that's the problem is like even if we like clear him in the States, like he's still screwed in Britain, screwed in I think Sweden too, and like some other countries. So it's a bad situation. I think Snowden though, if I were to rank like the most likely next pardons, I would say Manafort is definitely coming next. And then I'd say somebody else that we probably aren't thinking of, and then Snowden, and then Assange. I think Assange is the ballsiest one. I think he should do it. And I think he should do Snowden too. Or I know people like Matt Gaetz have been lobbying Trump to pardon Snowden. So I think the fact that he's been talking about too, you notice when Trump, this is something Scott Adams brought up when I was listening to his podcast, whenever he's talking about a pardon, he pretty much always does it. You know, when has there been a pardon he talks about that he doesn't do? And he's going to pardon Stone. That's the one I thought of. So he'll do probably next Manafort, Stone, and then Snowden.
Well, part of me thinks that the Flynn pardon was more strategic in terms of, you know, in terms of Sidney Powell, right? Because it's hard for Sidney Powell to put all her weight on this and then have to go for her to put all her weight on the Trump stuff and the Dominion stuff and all that stuff while also trying to look out for General Flynn too. Like
right.
Because what Judge Sullivan, he's been trying to make this thing as difficult as humanly possible. And so I mean, I think this was more strategic than anything. Like, you know, let's get this done and over with. I think if he's going to have these kind of pardons, they're probably going to come like right before he leaves. Like right before he leaves.
Which is what usually happens. Like presidents will do their ballsy, risky pardons.
This one in particular,
like a day before.
was more strategic, I think.
I think you're right, because that's the thing people forget about these pardons is they kind of think, oh, so-and-so did nothing wrong, pardon them immediately. It's like, well, there's strategy in the timing and when you do it, how you do it, who you do it to. Like, there's a bunch of factors going on. There's a lot we don't know, so like you said, like there is definitely strategy involved with when he did it. Now, of course, with Sidney Powell, though, she is not a part of the Trump legal team anymore. I have
She
been told she never
she
was,
is, but
but
she like look, I'm not like I they had to make a statement because she was going after stuff that I don't think that the Trump team was really going after, and I think that was more of an optics thing. Like I think she's still part of that. She's part of the Trump team, but not part of the Trump team. Like,
I actually don't think so, and here's why. Because if you've seen some of the stuff she was saying before she got the ties cut, she was saying some kind of one stuff that didn't make sense and some wacky shit that was like QAnon stuff. And I'm not one to say a lot any of this election fraud stuff's whack because I do think the election was 100% stolen from Trump. But she was saying stuff like, "Oh, the Democrats, like Hillary Clinton, she stole the primaries. She rigged it with this Dominion voting in the primaries." But she didn't do it in the general, and I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, if you're gonna do it in the primaries, you would do it in the general because why not?
well, I mean,
So
it would be like
I'm
there's a little
iffy
bit.
on Sidney Powell now. I
I
think
don't
she
know.
did great work for Flynn, but I think she's been saying some shit that just doesn't make sense. So I'm just kind of like, I don't
I
get
don't know.
this.
She might have like
I can't doubt. I can't doubt Sidney Powell for a second. She's like one of the best attorneys on in the country. Like so, like she's well regarded, well fucking regarded. So like I'm like as much as I'd want to, like as much as I want to like have the same opinion as you do, Sean, and I kind of lean toward that way. At the end of the day, I can't discount Sidney Powell for a sec. Like
Yeah.
I'm not ready to do that.
Well, and the thing too that I'm getting a little annoyed with, and I understand this is kind of how this process plays out, but like, especially her in particular makes these big claims and then doesn't really back it up. And I understand she's a lawyer; she's not gonna throw all her evidence on TV for the opposition to use against her and pick apart. But
I don't know.
but
I disagree with that one. I think the work that she's done is amazing. She put together two legal suits with both of them were like 75 plus pages plus affidavits plus like evident like sworn testimony and like emails and stuff like that. Like she did that in a matter of days, right? And it's like and people were giving her shit because she had some misspellings on her fucking legal stuff. But like, look, the fact that she put two 70 plus page um legal complaints together. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. Like, do you have any idea how fucking hard that is?
mm,
Like, and I mean, it's hard, like ridiculously fucking hard. I'm gonna like to see her do that. Yeah, I'm gonna see how this plays out. And some of the stuff isn't actually wrong. I mean, she's had like, especially with like the Dominion voting systems. Like, look, the software was made in Venezuela, right? It was created in Venezuela, and you have a lot of shady shit that's going on within the company. Like, the offices have been cleared out. Like, I know the offices in Florida and Canada have been cleared out. Like, it's dirty. Like, the whole situation is fucking dirty. And like if it comes to nothing, then whatever. But I see no fucking problem in pushing this shit through the courts. Like,
oh
I have
yeah,
no problem.
and they should 100% push as hard as you can, do whatever you can. The thing that I'm just concerned because I'm afraid we're gonna have all this big talk, all these big words thrown around, these big promises, and then nothing happens. Because
Well, I
I
mean,
feel like that's what's going to happen, and I
I
hope it
think
doesn't. But like,
no, I think if anything, I think you're going to see like states are going to be like people are going to drop this stuff, but it's because uh there's a lot of reach. Like, you're going to see like corruption at its finest. Like, they're gonna if they throw this thing out, it's because they're dirty too. Like, Like these judges are dirty. Which I mean, we're starting to see with all this thing. We're starting to see how dirty these judges are too, man. Like how the judges have become just basically political. Look at the Pennsylvania situation. You have the Commonwealth Court is majority Republican. You have and then you have whatever they pass is going to get rejected by a PA Supreme Court, which is heavily Democrat, like 5-2 Democrat advantage. Like you have the most polarizing court systems in Pennsylvania, and I mean we're seeing it. Like we're seeing it um front and center. And I mean, oh,
Well,
if
here's
we can
one thing that
fix it.
gives me some hope, actually,
Yeah.
and it's a small bit of hope, but
Yeah.
this was from like less than like 24 hours ago. Sidney Powell claims she has pictures of check stubs that were shown as payment for illegal ballot harvesting.
Yeah.
Well,
And
she
she's
better show
also,
it.
well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. It's like, I'm
Yeah.
kind of sitting here going, all right, we only got like what, 2 weeks technically. I think December
Yeah.
14th is the big day. So I'm like, all right, like this is like, come on, we gotta go. Like I just,
Yeah.
I feel like it's getting cut a little close. I feel like what's gonna end up
It was always going to
happening.
cut close, though. I mean, it was always going to cut close.
I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah, but the problem is like that. I think isn't going to be sufficient. I'm just speaking realistically. Like I'm trying to like not like put on any like pessimism or optimism. I'm trying to look at this like as to what I think's going to happen. I'm afraid what's going to happen is like there's going to be a lot of anecdotal stuff, a lot of shit that shows that shady shit was happening. We all know is happening, but it's really not going to change the election results as is reported, and that's what I'm afraid of. Now, my inner fiery pro-Trump side definitely doesn't want that. I want like these Dominion things be fully investigated. Apparently, they're trying to get physical access to the ones in Georgia, and I want Georgia, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and hopefully another state flip back to where they should be. That's what I really want to happen.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do like, at the end of my campaign job. Like I was literally calling canceled ballots to make sure shit was straightened out. Like, but my concern is that I don't think it's gonna be enough. That's what I'm really worried about.
I think if one state goes, other states will go too. Like I don't think
I think you're right on that. Yeah.
I think that the states are kind of looking at each other, going, "Okay, we want to do this shit, but we don't want to be the first ones to do it." Like which one of you are gonna fucking flip first?
Because if one
Like
does it, like all hell's gonna break loose.
yeah, because I think if yeah, because I think we were talking about this before. Like if so the Pennsylvania stuff, it's obviously the suits that were happening in Pennsylvania, they got rejected by the PA Supreme Court, which you know we expected. Like we expected that the PA so the Supreme Court is basically breaking its own constitution to help the Democrats. That's basically it. Because we know that there was stuff going on in this election that was breaking the Constitution, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious, right? Night and day, like it was clear as day. But like I said, the PA Supreme Court is heavily Democrat, and it's going to they're going to favor the Democrats. But so now it's at the Supreme Court. It's going to be at the Supreme Court, and all it takes is one ruling, right? It takes one ruling, and there's your legal precedents, right?
Yeah.
There's your legal precedent. So now, if Pennsylvania has to if they have to rule out or whatever, rule out votes, or if the state has to be invalidated or whatever, then these other states are gonna likely follow suit.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about like Michigan would probably follow suit, Georgia, Wisconsin, Arizona, and then you're either looking at a Trump victory via switched electoral votes via the legislature, or you're looking at a contingent election, which again favors Trump, right?
Well, what I'm
But
also worried is that two things, which is number one, these so-called like state legislators and these Republicans that are, gonna fight for us, right? Like they're supposed to be fighting for us.
yeah,
I'm afraid there's gonna be a lot of them that are establishment Republicans that
mhm.
want things to go back to normal, with the good old boys club coming back together to, get the shop up and running again with
I
their
think
dirty
many.
money.
I get what you're saying. Originally, I get what you're saying, and I would have agreed with you last week. This week, I think people are starting to realize that norm, that old way of doing things, is gone. Right? Like
No, I
you already
think
talking about. You're
I
talking
think the
about.
people agree with you on that, but I think the people in power are gonna
Yeah,
fight hard as much as
well,
you
they
wouldn't
are.
believe to
They
get back
might.
to that.
They might,
They will,
but
and they
they
are.
can't. They might, but they will probably lose they will lose harder as a result. Like the overall scheme will lose.
I
Like 'cause
hope so,
if you
but
dick over look if you dick over Trump in Georgia, it will have profound consequences. Because I'm telling you, like the
I
voters
think
in
we're gonna lose
Georgia,
that Senate seat.
huh?
I think that Senate seat's lost.
I think one of them is lost. I think honestly, I think one of them's lost. I think the Purdue one could be lost. I think the Loeffler one, I don't think I think she'll keep that one. Um, but I think if they dick over Trump too much,
Oh,
I
they're
think
gone.
These Trump voters will be like, we're not fucking fuck this. We're
Yeah.
not showing
Well,
up.
the reason I'm saying that I think most of them want things to go back to normal and they're not really either considering or caring about the
Yeah,
Trump vote backlash is because look at how they reacted when this election was wrapping up and we were all saying this shit makes no sense. There's no way Biden's ahead in PA
yeah,
by hundreds of thousands of votes. This is bullshit. And our establishment Republican pals like Nikki Haley, Dan Crenshaw, all these usual like characters were all like, oh, they either said nothing or they were like, oh, we need to go back with a smooth transition of power with whoever wins this result, and it's been done
yeah.
fair and free. It's like, no, 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 no,
I
dude,
feel like
get out of that
I
shit.
I get what you're saying. I get
Yeah,
what you're saying. I feel like Congress over the last at least over the last couple of years from what I was seeing, and definitely longer than that, have been one of the people that are like the groups of people that are like, we're not going to move. We're not going to. They kind of need a boot to the ass in order to move. Like they need
yeah.
a boot to the ass. And for me, like I think that a Supreme Court ruling would be a boot to the ass. Like that would be a boot to the ass. Like, oh shit. Well, then it's like because you're trying to motivate these people into doing something that like they generally don't want to do. Because really, I don't think it's going back to the. I don't know if it's so much going back to the way things were as much as it is doing the least amount of work possible. Like I think that's because like I look at the Kavanaugh hearings, like for example, like the
Mm-hmm.
Kavanaugh, a lot of that same thing happened. Like you had a lot of these people that were like, I don't know. You had your flakes, you had your sasses,
Right.
you had the people that are like, maybe this isn't a good fit or whatever. And then Senator Graham was like, went off, right? And that kind of reignited
Lindsay
everything.
2.0.
That ignited everything, right? And I think because you need a reason, you're going to need a reason to fire up this base. Like you're going to need motivation, like kind of like also look at the hearing, look at the Pennsylvania hearing that was in Gettysburg. That ignited, right? That ignited people, right? You need a fire starter. Like you need a fire starter to come in and go, let's make something happen, right?
Well, and I
And
think the thing to consider too is kind of like what you were saying before is that these people are always thinking about re-election, so they're thinking I gotta do this so that I win my re-election. So we can't piss off the Trump people, but we can't piss off these people. So they kind of play things, by ear that way. And I tend to think right now they're trying to play things safe and they're trying to make sure that they get what they can. But I think what they're hoping for, and I think they're going to be very wrong with this, but this is what I think they're hoping. They are like the rest of the establishment. They want Trump to blow over. They want him to be a blip, and they want things just to, oh yeah, we had this Trump guy, and yeah, that was a long time ago. Guess what, guys? We're going to talk about things that you don't care about now.
And again, this is what I was saying. Like, I would have agreed with you last week on that one, because they're starting to understand now that kind of hoping that Trump blows over, that might be a bad move on their part, right? I think they're starting to understand that maybe that's a bit much to wish for, right? Because there's a lot of dude. Trump may be the most popular Republican maybe of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
if you try to blow him over, like, it's gonna have irreparable consequences.
Right. No, I totally agree. I think some are thinking that, but I think you're gonna get. I think there's a bit of arrogance that some of these people have, and so they don't consider that, or they don't. They're just like, whatever. I'm smarter than people, so whatever. But I think it's gonna be a major miscalculation. That's why I think what's gonna be interesting is because Lindsey Graham is one of those people that I personally think he's just out for himself, and because I've heard from a lot of people that he's really a snake. He may seem like really pro-Trump now, but he's just doing it because it helps him. And I think what you're going to see happen is, hopefully, we're going to clean house. In these next 2 years, by the midterms, we're going to get rid of the cucks, get rid of the never-Trumpers, get rid of all these people, the neocons, just get them out.
I mean, they're driven by self-interest, but and again, like, going back to the fire starter thing, like, you need a spark. Like, you need some sort of fire starter thing. Up for the last week or so, it was looking kind of grim, but and it still kind of is. But all it takes is a Supreme Court ruling to start the fire, right?
But see, I don't think they're gonna, and that's what I think is gonna happen.
And I agree with you. I'm saying, and I don't think that it'll happen. Actually, I think it's more likely to happen now than I did a week ago. Again, because like, we were hearing stuff that maybe Kavanaugh might, side with Justice Roberts or something like that. We know they think, like they know that they got at least 4 votes, that Trump probably has at least 4 votes in the Supreme Court. Right. And they weren't sure about Kavanaugh, but this last ruling that New York against New York, Kavanaugh went way against, like, he went directly against Chief Justice Roberts on that ruling. So that gave me a lot of confidence. Like, I'm like, oh, this dude is absolutely willing to buck the Chief Justice. And I'm a little bit more confident. Is it a little bit of a long shot? Sure, but like, I'm a lot more hopeful now than I was a week ago.
Well, what's going to be interesting is to see, let's say Trump, does have to leave office in 2 months. What his level of influence. First of all, he's going to be the most influential Republican, period. Like, there's not even a question about that.
Yeah.
But how is he gonna play it? Is he gonna really be aggressive with cleaning house flies, because he knows all the dirty secrets? That's what's gonna be real interesting. He's gonna probably be like, you thought this guy was cool, but no, we gotta get him the fuck out. He's this, and that. He's done this and that. Or is he gonna kind of be more of a quote unquote team player and just be like, just get any Republican in? Or is he just gonna go full on? Fuck these guys.
Trump's gonna be Trump. Trump's gonna be Trump.
That's true.
Bottom line, he's not. He's going to go in his direction. He's not going in their direction. He's going in his direction.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how Trump's been his whole life. His
Well,
whole life, he's been his direction.
I think the
And
most fascinating recent examples of that is how he has basically been leading the boycott of Fox News. You know, I have been
Fox
amazed.
has taken a beating.
A huge beating. I mean, I think this is like, I can't understate how significant of a sea change we're seeing happen, and it's great. By the way, it's great. Seeing happen on TV, which is a medium that's in a weird space right now, because you have Fox News, which is your typical, it's your conservative powerhouse for cable news. Like, it's the only place to go for that. There's before these past few weeks, I should caveat this, there really was nothing else. Yes, there was OAN and Newsmax, but Fox was the powerhouse. Like, that was where people were going. But at Fox News killed their audience. Like, they sent them out to die with one big mistake, and that was calling Arizona on election night. Yes, there's been a lot of precursors with Fox. We know they have a blacklist against people like Milo, Michelle Malkin, Ann Coulter, and a few other people. Like, Diamond Silk got kicked off of them. And Judge Janine is toeing the line every night. You know, she's always on the line, getting booted. But, and we know they've been never Trump since day one. Like, I remember very well, except for a few people, Fox News was never Trump on day one. But people kind of forgot all that. And so people are kind of cool with Fox. And we come to that Arizona calling. I remember seeing it going, what the fuck was that? How the fuck are they calling Arizona at like less than an hour after polls close, and they're giving it to Biden? Like, what's up with that? And you find out that the guy that runs their decision desk is a Democrat, okay? And we're like, okay, what the hell's going on here? And then they hire also, months before this, Donna Brazile, who was the head of the freaking DNC and who cheated in the debate and gave Hillary the debate questions. So this is who Fox is hiring now. So you fast forward to then this election night, and I think right after that calling happened, and you saw the shift on Fox and not talking about the voter fraud to saying about the peaceful transition that needs to happen, and then Trump just laying into them, like carpet bombing them on Twitter. And then I think the sort of flashbacks happen. They hired Donna Brazile. They've been, getting more left wing recently, ever since Roger Ailes has been gone. And I feel like the puzzle pieces just all click together for people. And I think Trump just telling people basically, yeah, fuck Fox, watch Newsmax or OAN, literally is killing them. And they're in a panic mode. Yep. They literally have lost a third of their daytime audience. A third.
Yep.
That's unbelievable. Like, that one, think of it this way. One guy basically took out a third of their audience. I mean, obviously it was Fox to blame for it, who's really responsible. But Trump telling people, fuck Fox, basically, is powerful. Like, that's what people forget. So with his 100 million followers on Twitter, he can change stock markets. He can change TV landscapes with a few characters. It's amazing. Like, I know I went on like a long little bit there, but it's because I just find that so amazing. That's the power of influence right there. Like, it's amazing. Have you guys watched any of these actually stations like Newsmax or OAN recently?
Oh, that's I turn on, like, in the morning, like when I get up. That's what I turn on now. I used to turn it on Fox News. Now I turn it on Newsmax. Like,
Newsmax is my go-to too.
That is how big of a shape shift that is. Like, I used to, like, it was routine. Like, it was like when I get up, I get my groggy ass up out of bed and I fucking turn on, like, it's on Fox News, but now it's on Newsmax now. Like, I didn't even realize because I have Xfinity on in my house, and so, like, I didn't even realize up until a couple months ago that we had Newsmax on our package. So I'm like, all right, shoot, now I don't even need to watch Fox anymore. Like, and I mean, of course, you can see it on the app, you can see it on like YouTube and all that stuff. But like, shoot, I got it on Comcast. All right, this works.
I think you have Newsmax too, Alex, right?
Yeah, I have it. I haven't really watched it too much. I think I
Yeah,
turned it on once or twice.
I mean, I'll admit, like, when I was in college, I just didn't watch any cable news except for the, TV playing in the hub or the occasional,
yeah,
like, crazy event that was happening. I'd tune in. But at home, really haven't watched much these past few weeks, which I think has been interesting. But my dad, who would watch Fox religiously every day, every afternoon as coffee break, every night for Tucker, Hannity, and Ingram, stopped cold turkey.
hmm
That was what kind of shook me a bit too, because I could see that people were turning it off. I personally made, in my mind, the commitment to never watch him again.
yeah,
Even Tucker. Look,
yeah,
I like Tucker. I think he's great. Little, it's gonna be interesting to see how he goes, but I'll just watch his YouTube clips. I'm not gonna give Fox the ratings. You
yeah,
know, it's so I when I saw my dad cut cold turkey, I'm like, well, if he's gonna do it, somebody who, I'm just saying this is the way he is. He just doesn't change much. So when I see him make a big change like that, I'm like, okay, there's something happening here.
yeah.
And Newsmax, I personally think is the best alternative to Fox right now because they
hmm
have a nice healthy budget and they look pretty sharp.
Well, it's
OAN
convenient. It's
needs some
convenient.
work, and I love some of the people
Newsmax is
on there.
convenient. Newsmax is is convenient too. Like
Yes,
OAN is kind of a pain in the ass because then you download like because if you don't have AT&T or you like
or
identify
Verizon.
like Verizon FiOS or
Yeah,
whatever, like if you don't have any of that, then you're like, okay, now I got to download Cloud TV on my phone, on my Apple TV, and then I got to sign up
that's
for this
assuming you have
service.
an Apple TV too. Some people don't, so they can't even
Yeah.
download
Yeah,
it.
I'm sure that you can get it on other stuff too. I just so happen to have a cloud T. I happen to have an Apple TV, but I
Yeah,
think you can get it on Roku and stuff like that too.
yeah,
But in any case, yeah, like I know with between your dad and me, like that's those are two routine people that just broke the routine.
yeah.
You broke two people's routine in your inner circle, right?
It's
Like
huge.
that's huge.
I mean, I am very excited to see what happens because, like I said, I love Jack Posobiec and Channel Rihanna on OAN, but that channel needs a bigger budget so it looks more legit.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm not trying to throw shade at them because I love what they're doing, but what I'm saying is when you're trying to sell an alternative, you gotta look legit. You gotta be a appetizing alternative to the multi-billion-dollar Time Warner Fox. Is it Time Warner and Fox News? Um, or sorry, fuck, what's it called? What are those people that own them again? The
The
rich ass
Murdochs?
people, the Murdochs. Yeah, Murdoch owned
Yeah.
Fox News.
Yeah.
You're coming up against that. You gotta really be the rebel with a strong cause here. And Newsmax to me is looking like the most promising alternative. What I like about them is, well, first of all, Greg Kelly, who I've never even heard of, and I started watching clips of him. He's been hauling in some good viewers, but they have Sean Spicer, big name.
Mhm.
And they also have Michelle Malkin and Diamond Silk. Diamond Silk were booted from Fox and then went to Newsmax. And Benny Johnson, who's from Turning Point as well. So Newsmax has a bigger budget and bigger stars, that people would know, the general populace, compared to OAN. So OAN could still get some good people and then boost up. I definitely see some potential in both of these, but right now my money's on Newsmax with
Yeah.
Rising because what I do like about Michelle Malkin is she has people like Gavin McGinnis on her show. So you're getting
Mhm.
those band people, those true alternative media people back on the television where they really need to be. So I like seeing shit like that. So you're going to see things like Censor.tv and InfoWars, I think, grow overall, and Blaze TV. But Newsmax is going to be the one that's really going to shine, I think.
Yeah. And Newsmax is free.
Yeah,
Like
they have a free
I mean
live
really it's
stream.
free. Yeah. and it's like because I mean I know that OAN or Cloud TV, I know that's like free until the end of the year, and I think they're gonna start like charging people or
Oh,
trying to charge
really?
people.
Yeah.
I think, don't quote me on that, but yeah, I think that's what it is. But like, and it's kind of, it really is kind of, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, like
Yeah.
trying to get OAN on your TV versus I'm telling the convenience thing matters. It
Absolutely.
matters. Like if I can get if you can reach people and make it easy for people to reach your shit, people are going to reach your shit. Like if it's good enough. Like obviously, I mean the Newsmax channel is it's good service. Like I mean it's good quality. Um I mean I think like with OAN, and I know Liz Wheeler leaving OAN, that was bad.
Mm.
That was a fucking punch in the dick too. Like
Yeah, she was
real,
one of their huge talents.
yeah, because you don't really like you're replacing her with. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I do love OAN. There's Jack Posobiec. There's Alex Salvi, I think his name is really good too. Um, like there's personalities that I really do like on OAN. Um, but I mean,
Yeah, and
it's
you're
tough. I
totally
mean,
right. The accessibility and convenience is really the key here
yeah,
because people honestly don't give a shit about, if it's 4K or if it's 1080. Like they just give a shit about convenience. It's like the
yeah,
iPod's the best example
yeah.
of it. When the iPod
Like
came
I can
out,
build.
it
Can you
was
build it into your routine?
yeah,
Can you build
exactly,
something into your daily routine?
because it becomes
Like
a habit.
I can put Newsmax. I can I can say Newsmax on my remote and it'll turn on Newsmax. That's how convenient it is. Like, look, I like OAN doesn't have that, right? I can't do that. Like that I can add Newsmax into my routine and it just makes it easy for me. Like and if I'm thinking this way, hundreds of thousands of other people are probably thinking the same fucking thing.
Yep,
Like,
exactly. Yeah, and like I was saying, like it's just like the iPod when that thing first came out. I mean, the whole selling point really was convenience.
yeah,
Instead of having to go to your computer, your record table, or your DVD player, CD player, you could bring your music everywhere with you. And yeah, the quality wasn't as good as a record. The MP3 quality isn't as good as a CD, but that doesn't matter. What mattered was the convenience. And that's where Newsmax is really smart, is because I think it's because of the money they have been able to penetrate the convenience market perfectly. And then you also see, this is the other thing to always watch for. You want to see something's doing really good, see how mad the left is at them. The left was mad as shit at Channel Rion from OAN, but they're mad as shit at Newsmax. Like CNN is saying, Newsmax TV is far right. They're pressuring Fox from the right. They're all trying to spin as how far right it is.
mm-hmm.
And it's the same smears we always see over and over
But
again with
I was
these
seeing
things.
something that Fox News is actually pressuring some of the because there's personalities, there's like conservative personalities that go on Fox and Newsmax. They're
Yeah.
actually they're
Yep.
now pressuring those personalities to not go on Newsmax. Like if you
Yep.
go on Newsmax now, you can't go on our program.
Yep.
Like,
I pulled that up to mention that because I saw that too. And that to me was a telling sign that Fox is fucking panicking behind the scenes.
oh
If they are literally basically threatening their guests, like, don't go on Newsmax or else, they're scared as shit. Because I will say the edge Fox still has is their on-air talent across the board. Like, say what you will about their political views, but doing their job as in being a TV host, they're some of the best at it. Like, they're really freaking good at it. But what they also have is the freaking best lineup of guests. They get everyone pretty much. So Newsmax is starting to draw those people over more than they were before, and Fox is scared as shit, which I love. I think Fox needs to burn or change their shit. I don't think they're going to change their shit, but they probably will try to, but it'll be phony. But this is what we need. This is the
I mean,
power of Trump. Like his base is loyal. They follow him. They're
Fox
not going to
News,
follow anything else.
Fox News really was headed for a premier holy shit. Like they were one bad decision away from from taking a fucking tumble because like unlike CNN and MSNBC, they're not Fox is not part of a bigger media conglomerate. So there's not as much financial backing, and there's not as much reach and uh like as much like Fox is just you got Fox Broadcasting. That's it, right? That their thing is broadcasting. Whereas MSNBC, they're owned by Universal, which is owned by Comcast, which has a plethora of reach, with services like cable and internet and all that stuff, right? You got AT&T again, like CNN is part of Time Warner, part of AT&T. That's another part. Like they have this huge reach, huge resource platform where they can kind of reach everything, right? Fox News doesn't really have that, right? You got Fox. That's it. Fox broadcasting, that is it. That is all they have. Like if Fox News fucks up, their tumble could go down quite a bit versus like because I don't need I don't need Fox News. Like I don't need Fox News. And it's like
I think
I
that's what people realize more than anything
yeah,
else. Not that they're left wing or they're
yeah,
cucky. They've realized they don't need them. And
yeah.
I think I'm glad you said that way because I think that's what's liberating a lot of people. Is they're like, wait, there's alternatives? Oh my God, I don't need to be watching Fox all the time. It sounds like such a simple thing, but it's like, again, this is the power of that fucking network effect. Like when
Yeah.
everybody's on the one thing, everybody wants to stay there.
And they got to be careful and in all honesty, they're going to have to be careful because
Yeah,
um
they could
Fox News
accelerate
is
this
definitely going
shit.
to have to be careful with because you're talking like I wouldn't be surprised if Comcast and AT&T both drop Fox from their services. If their ratings sink hard enough, then they could drop. Like they could just drop them
I
because
I don't think they will.
here's the problem. Here's the problem with Fox. Fox demands high royalties, like for their cable packages, because they're popular. They are the most up until recently they're the most popular news channel in the world, right? They're the most popular, right? And
Not
so they
anymore.
have to be careful. They have to be careful because because if their operating costs become greater than their what they pull in, then it's like, well, like we've seen it. We've seen Comcast do this shit with other channels. Like they did it with BN Sports, which was like they basically have most of the international soccer leagues and stuff like that, which is huge. And you were talking about like BN Sports was trying to get more like try to demand a higher royalty fee for for providing their channel on their platform, and then Comcast was like, fuck you guys, and just basically booted them off, right? Stars was the same thing, right? Stars was getting too big for their britches, right? Like they were trying to demand higher royalties, whatever. They were like, nope, we're booting Stars, right? Like Fox is going to have to be careful that they don't fuck up too bad, because Comcast is not shy. They're not shy in booting channels off the platform. We've seen it. We've already seen it. And it seems like it's unfathomable, but no, we've seen it. I've seen it before. I mean, and so you got to be careful. They got to be careful, um, because I mean, like what else are they gonna have? Like what is it? Like and if Fox News gets dropped from Comcast, that would be like a fucking that's a punch in the gut. That's another punch in the gut, right? You can only survive too many of those punches. Like you can only survive so many of those punches before it's like,
I don't know. I don't think they drop him though because Comcast is like NBC, and they probably they hate Trump and that sort of brand of Republicans. I think they would, because Fox is sort of against that grain now.
yeah, but
They might
they
go.
have Newsmax to hate now. It's not like it's like,
No,
oh,
but they
the
would
big
see Fox as competing against, and that would be like, they might see a benefit to that as like competition from the right.
Newsmax is already number 4 on the Nielsen, right?
Well, I think they might just drop Newsmax.
Huh?
Well, I
You
think
think they'll
Fox might,
No,
maybe.
they won't drop Newsmax. Newsmax is free. Newsmax, the royalties for Newsmax are grossly lower than Fox News. Because each channel you're paying for each channel to go on Comcast on their platform. That's like, they're paying royalty fees. Like they're paying royalty fees to have their rights of their channel on their platform, right? So like with Newsmax, they don't charge much because it's a it's really a free platform. There's no like Fox News has demanded a higher platform for decades, right? Since their inception in 1996, when they've been the top conservative news outlet in the country, right? But if they keep taking these swan dives, right, and this presidential election, that this is a swan dive, right? They're experiencing a swan dive right now. If they take too many of these, like I just be like, well, shit, I'll just keep Newsmax, and they can be the opposite enemy or whatever, and then, well, Fox can eat a dick, and then goodbye.
We know it's. I'll mention 2 quick things. Number 1, I learned that Paul Ryan is on the board of Fox News. They hired his ass, so that tells you everything about Fox News. And we've been saying for a long time that they're really establishment. We even have a lot of Democrats working for them, but it's kind of shit you're dealing with at Fox. Number 2 is, I'm trying to find the article, but I can't find it. But every single like nighttime show on Fox, Hannity, Tucker, Ingram, they were all number 1 in their time slots across the board for the ratings. I think it was this past week they said all of them dropped from their number 1 spot. The only one that stayed on their number 1 spot was Tucker. But the other thing that's interesting too is that I guess I'm mentioning 3 things actually. This is an article. I know it's CNN. Yes, they're fake news, but take this with a grain of salt. They said with Newsmax before the when was this? On average, in August and September, they only had an average about 34,000 viewers at any given time. But Greg Kelly at 7 p.m., which isn't the best time slot in the world, but it's a decent time slot. His show, viewership-wise, in the run-up to Election Day, topped 800,000 viewers on the first weekend after Biden was projected as the president-elect. 800,000.
Yep.
That's unbelievable. And that was, they worded this kind of weird, so I'm butchering it, but it sounds like it was the first weekday after Biden was projected as the president-elect. So it wasn't even like during the heat of Election Day coverage. This was when the major switch we've been seeing was happening. It tells you where people are going. To go from like a couple thousand viewers to now almost 1 million is insane. So what's going to be interesting to see, I think, first of all, I think Fox is going to stay around for quite a while. Like, there's a lot of stations that their viewership drops and people move on to other shit, but they just have so much fucking money that they stay around, even though Fox is a little different, like you were saying, Phil. But I think what you're going to see is a lot of talent shift to Fox News. A lot of shift from Fox News, or people that would go to Fox News are now going to go to Newsmax. Like, Newsmax is going to see the influx of talent. And once they start building that, they get more viewers, they get more money. They are a prime competitor against Fox News. And the landscape's going to not look like,
Yeah.
10 left-wing outlets and one
Thing-
conservative outlet.
So if they stay, and of course they probably will stay, they're going to have to cut. Like if they drop their viewership, they're going to have to cut their budget, which means it. Good luck paying for Hannity. Good luck paying for Tucker Carlson. Good
Well,
luck
and then
paying
people
for.
like Hannity, too, like, they don't need Fox News. Hannity makes so much shit on his radio show. Like, his Fox gig is just, like, icing on the cake. So, he doesn't need Fox. Laura Ingraham, maybe a little bit, but she really doesn't need him either.
If you're going to need to motivate, like if you're going to keep Sean Hannity on Fox News, you're going to need to motivate him. If the channel is going left, like if the channel's going left, you're going to have to pay me money. You're going to have to pay Sean Hannity more money to keep him on that station, because it's going to
Right.
go. He's not. He's conservative. He's diehard conservative. Like you're going to have to. You're going to need to pay this dude money, right? Because he's going to get other offers just because he's fucking Sean Hannity. Like, I mean, he could do his own thing. Like, look at Bill O'Reilly. He could do his own thing, right? He did like, it's not.
Well, even O'Reilly's simulcast on Newsmax now, and I think that I think if they lose Tucker, if Fox loses Tucker, that's the oh shit moment. That's the moment where the ship hits the iceberg, and you're like, shit, do we have enough lifeboats? Because Fox doesn't have a lot. I mean, they have talent left, but that's your big one. That's your only guy now that's getting you number one on any time slot at night. Like, you lose him, you're going to lose a lot. And if Tucker moves to Newsmax is going to just skyrocket. But I don't think Tucker's actually going to leave, at least not anytime soon. What I think more likely is going to happen is you're just going to see people like Ann Coulter probably have a show on Newsmax. They may even show some of Censor.tv on Newsmax, because O'Reilly's thing technically wasn't on Newsmax, but they were showing it there. So you may see shit like that. But I think the big thing is the pro-Trump talent that is being prevented from going on Fox News. It's being gatekept from going on Fox News, or just is fed up with Fox and says fuck them. It's going to go to Newsmax. So the talent is now shifting. I think that's the important thing, because it's what the talent is what brings the ratings. So I think that's where you're going to see a major shift. And then when Newsmax gets more on the ground reporters, like that's another key thing you got to remember, is that where Fox still kind of has the edges, they have like a massive network of people that, like, when there's a mass shooting, they'll have somebody on the ground there reporting. And of course these stations do, but it's not at the same level. But it's going to change. There's a big change happening. It's going to take time. Like, this isn't going to happen overnight. Like, I think you're going to see a slow and steady decline, unless some like big things happen. But like, you're going to see a slow and steady decline of Fox News. Like, the landscape is changing, and it's great. It's amazing. I love it.
Me too. I love it too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've said this before. Like, depending on how this turns out, Trump wins or loses, we still have a big, powerful movement that is only getting bigger and better. Like, I am so optimistic for things to come, because of what I'm seeing right now is so
with all of this shit
promising.
going on. With all the good thing you brought that up. Like with all of this shit going on, if Trump wins re-election, it could be bad. It could be really bad for Fox. Like, it could get really bad for Fox News. Like, because if like you're talking about press coverage, interviews, stuff like that. Like, I mean, like he's gonna be like, well, fuck Fox News. I'm going to Newsmax. I'm going to OAN. I'm going, like, more of that will happen, and it will take away, and it will again take away from it'll take away from Fox News.
Yeah.
And again, like if you're giving up the ratings, you're going to have to give up your budget too. Like you're just going to have to. Like there's nobody's going to pay for a fading market. Like they're not going to pay, like the advertisers pay top dollar for Fox News because the viewership is there, right? But if the viewership's no longer there, then a lot of these advertisers are just going to they're going to renegotiate. They're gonna be like, no, I'm not paying that outrageous rate for like a half of the fucking viewership. You're out of your mind.
I will say though, because you did mention something that reminded me of this, I am a little surprised, and so I'm wondering what the strategy is behind it. Trump is going to make his first post-election day interview on Sunday with Marie Bartiromo, I think her name is, on Fox.
Maria Bartiromo.
Yes.
She's one of the solid Trump backers too. Like that's,
she is. Yeah. And I wonder if what Trump's I wonder what his play here is, because I would think, again, we're gonna see how this plays out, but I would think his play would have been first post-election day interview. Let's go to Newsmax. You know, I don't know why he's not doing that.
I think
maybe he's trying to teach Fox a lesson, which is like when I come on, the ratings go up, and when I leave, they go down.
I think we're basically we're right now, and I think this is going to happen for a while now. There's just going to be a lot of division within Fox News. There's just going to be a ton of division. Like, you know, Maria Bartiromo, she's getting her way. Like she's like she's one of the most intelligent people that they have. Fox News has, from a financial element, from everything. Like there's I don't think there's from a news reporting standpoint, especially when it comes to economic stuff, that she's their best person for that. And she's pro Trump. She's gonna be like, look, yeah, I'm still pro Trump, and I'm going to be pro Trump. And if you guys don't like that, you can eat a dick. I'm gonna stay right here. And I think that and you're gonna see a lot of that with, like, you're definitely gonna see that with Sean Hannity. You're definitely gonna see that with Laura Ingraham. Tucker Carlson, I mean, I think he's got his own personality, but I mean, even then, he'll still buck this. He'll buck the channel if he has to. Like, I mean, we've already kind of seen it. I mean, we saw it where was it Kirsten Fisher or something like that? She said something about how some of the claims were like lies or whatever, and then like Tucker Carlson went like, you know, you can't just say that they're lies without like proving it. Like, you have to like he went off he took a pop shot at one of his network's own. Like, you know, he's not scared. He's not a scared guy. He'd be like, look, if he has to take a pop shot, he fucking will. And so, I mean, there's going to be that inner struggle, like within the company, which is also very which definitely does kind of damage it too, because like you have a lot of the intro leftist people now that are on Fox, and then you still have a lot of the you know, the older, the old boys network, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's gonna be like, it's tough. I mean, I know Judge, hey, speaking of Judge Deneen, what happened? Like, I guess she was gonna do an interview, and then Fox fucking vetoed it or some shit.
She was gonna do a show on election fraud, and there's been a slew of rumors and reasons as to supposedly why Fox can her show for that week. Some say it was already planned that it wasn't going to happen for different. I forget the reason they came up with. But some were suspecting like, oh, this is Fox trying to muzzle her. But she has had her show since then every Saturday. But I can tell you, she is on the chopping block. Like, I've been thinking that for a while because she first got in trouble for saying something about Muslims, and they booted her off for like a week on a planned vacation. It's always these planned vacations.
They need to be careful with Judge Janine because she's got a little bit of a pop.
She's feisty.
Yeah, well, her show does fairly well.
Oh yeah,
her show does fairly well in the ratings part. 2, she's one of the OGs, right? She's one of the original. Like, she's one of the original Fox personalities. Like, she's been around Fox News since like back in the day, right?
And she's fiercely pro-Trump. I mean, I've always really liked that about her, is that she brings the fire and fury to it.
And there won't be, like, if something happens to her, like if she Fox News knows if she gets canned, there's going to be people waiting to pick her up. They're going to be waiting.
And that's their tricky little catch-22 they're going to throw themselves in. If they keep these people, then the network's not going to go the way the old boys network wants it to go. But if they get rid of them, they're going to help their competition. So what do you do, Fox News? What do you do? But of course, these people have their contracts, so they can just, once their contract expires, just go, bye bitch, I'm going where I want to go. But you don't want to start a new world order. Yes, that was a pro wrestling reference. Yes, that was a Scott Hall and Kevin Nash reference, leaving WWF to go to WCW. Yeah, okay. I'll be honest, I didn't watch wrestling, but I'm glad you brought up New World Order because I have a text from somebody that has some connections to New World Order you'll get in a second. But I want to quickly say that Fox News spokesman told Newsweek via email that Judge Janine was supposedly never scheduled to be on that Saturday due to ongoing election coverage, and she'll be back next week along with regular scheduled programming. Take that with what you will. But we were supposed to kind of maybe have on the I guess you could say unexpected part 2 of our big guest from last week, Cosmic Rebecca, and she wanted me to give a shout out to Phil and Big Al. So Cosmic Rebecca says hi to you guys.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if Big Al's tuning in because I know he's on the road probably at these hours and hard to get a signal sometimes. So if he's tuning in, Big Al, you can.
He's probably getting a hand job at a truck stop. So you never know.
Let's just say he's probably busy. I think it's safe to assume he's busy. We don't know of what, but he's a busy man.
He still likes you. I think he still likes you, Cosmic Rebecca. So, I think he like a source close to me has confirmed that he is still very much infatuated with Cosmic Rebecca.
Really? Infatuated? Was that the word he used to describe it? Or was that just the vibe you were getting?
I think he said infatuated, and then I had to kind of correct him.
He does have a little trouble with his, he's on the road so much. He's typing really quickly, so
he's Big Al. Like, he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't
give a fuck.
Like, you get the idea.
Big Al doesn't give a fuck.
Hey, if you don't understand him, that's a you problem. That's how he sees it.
Big Al is like a truck driving honey badger, unstoppable force of nature that doesn't give a fuck. And I know, look, he's a ladies' man. How could you not like the guy? I mean, how could you not? But
and he goes for it too, man.
He does.
You heard him last week, man. He just goes for it. Like, he doesn't care.
I told him the show was uncensored, and he fully took advantage of that.
Yeah, definitely took advantage of it.
I mean, I have to say, when we have those type of guests, it always makes the show more fun, and I love having it. So I'm gonna start poking around, trying. Oh, maybe this is breaking news. Real news is breaking some news here. Like we actually break news in this shit show. Not saying the show shit, but I'm saying like shit shows and it's crazy. We are probably gonna try and find a new radio gig. I'm gonna start looking around for it. I don't know if we talked about it
I'm
on
telling
air.
you, man.
That
I
Beaver
told you
Radio.
there's that one Beaver County. You just
Yep.
go and call, go and mess with them. Send them an email. They'll have you on.
That's what got my gears turning. Is when you mentioned that to me, I thought, we have some options here. We can either record something, simulcast it, do it live somehow from home. I mean, hey, COVID's making doing everything from home possible. So maybe do something like that. Maybe have some in studio shit. I don't know. We're gonna look into it because I miss the radio. I'm not gonna lie, because I would feel bad if I brought on some like big name onto this stream with nobody in the comments, and I don't know how many viewers we're getting currently. I can check that, but I just it was fun. It was, we were always having to watch the edge a bit, and we have 3 people watching. Okay, never mind, we don't have nobody watching, but it was a fun experience, and you could play some music. We could have these big guests on, have a lot of fun. I liked it, and I think we could do something interesting, especially in this new landscape of today. I think we could do something interesting again on radio. Radio is a dead medium, but not for conservative talk shows. So we're gonna look into it. We'll see what we can do, because I'm actually gonna be job searching soon, so I'll be searching for that too, and maybe writing some stuff. We'll just say, we'll keep it vague.
Erotica.
No. Fan fiction. Oh wait, what's the difference? What was that?
Like some Harry Potter erotica, some Harry Potter fan fiction.
No,
Yeah,
we're
that's
not gonna. Well, kind of actually. It is kind of. I see what you're saying there.
I bought the sequel to 50 Shades of Grey with the vibrating book cover.
Yeah, that would actually make me buy that book if they had that. Not saying I'd use it, but because that's such a unique feature of a book that I would not, normally pick up. But it'd be interesting. You watched that movie, didn't you, Alex? The sequel to 50 Shades Darker.
Oh, I hated that. Yeah, that was shit.
I didn't even watch. I gotta be honest. I didn't even watch it.
Did you watch the first one?
I only watched like 30 minutes of the first one, and then I was like, "This is garbage. I can't. My time is too precious for this bullshit."
I have not seen any of it. I honestly didn't know what it was about for the longest time, and I saw it on my maybe I shouldn't reveal this, but I saw it on my mom's iPad. And
That's weird.
You might get some. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say it.
This is uncensored. Come on, Big Al can say whatever he wants. So can you.
Yeah, Big Al, but Big Al is Big Al. Okay, there's limits. Damn it.
There are no limits here, sir. But no, I know what you mean. But I saw it and I was like, oh, okay. And I opened it, and it was, I think she gave up. Like, I think she was like, oh, what's this all about? Oh, got it. Started reading it because it was only on page like 50, and it was something. I think the first line was like, oh, I woke up to a massive fucking headache. The drugs were starting to really hit in. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then I Googled it and I found out what it's actually about. And I'm like, wow. This is, I can see, I can't see why it can sell, but I can also see why it's sold at the same time. It's like everybody's deep, dark fantasy in a book, but I think it was a fucking Twilight fan fiction, wasn't it?
That's what 50 Shades of Grey was.
Yeah. So, thank you, Twilight, for this. But to me, what's weird about it is like, why didn't any other fucking erotica fantasy sell? Like, why was it this one?
I don't know. I guess it must have been pretty appealing to the nerds on the internet who like to play with themselves and watch Harry Potter and Ron Weasley get on.
Yeah.
There's a whole list of like internet degenerates, like especially with the Harry Potter community.
Oh, really?
Like there's a lot. Yeah, like they're pretty bad with the fan fiction. Like
I
not
know they
even
have a
just
lot of
fiction.
them.
Yeah, it's like pretty gross. Like people banging the Snape, and like there's the
The
stuff with
Snape.
like this Harry Potter and who's that like douchebag blonde kid?
Oh, Malfoy going at gay
Yeah,
sex.
there's a lot of homosexual action between those two.
I could see it. No, not in
Like
the movies, but I could see the fan fictions being made of that shit.
well, like I don't know why. Like there's so much like gay fan fiction. Like I guess women like it. Not even like women. These are like mostly probably like teenage girls who like fantasize about like like Harry and Hagrid like getting it on in the woods.
Oh God, I would love to study the psychology. That's what my girlfriend should do for one of her papers, like the psychology. That should be her senior thesis, like the psychology of fan fiction, like what drives
Well,
a
maybe she
person.
was into it. Do you ask her if she liked the Harry Potter fan fiction?
No, she
Maybe
does not.
there's a
She's not a big
side
Harry
you
Potter
don't know
person.
about.
Well, she's into like Avatar, like that's her thing, big time.
Avatar, like the movie with the blue people, or like the movie with like the dude with the like lion on his head.
The animated show with the dude
Oh,
with
the
the arrow on his
anime.
head.
Uh,
Yes,
Oh, see,
it's
she's
an
into
anime.
anime too. You have so
No,
much in common with her.
no, it's not. It's not true. We do that. We both don't like anime. Okay, so we do have a lot in
But you
common.
both watch. Okay, so you both don't like anime, but you also both watch anime.
No, we only look. I don't watch any anime, and no, before you say it, Samurai Jack is not a fucking anime. I did watch Goblin Slayer, and you watched it too, and that was only because we heard it was an alt-right anime, and we wanted to check to see if that was true.
There was there was some fun scenes to that one. That made me
Fun.
laugh.
Yeah, there was some funny shit. Like it was like it started off as like a dark, twisted fantasy, as Kanye would say, and then it morphed into like an RPG, like RuneScape. Oh, speaking of RPGs like RuneScape, dude, you gotta catch up on that Mandalorian. The last episode was fucking awesome. It was
What, do
awesome.
they bring like RuneScape into it?
No, but I've noticed this show is like it reminds me of like video games because he's always on this main quest, but he gets fucking pulled away every episode by a side quest that then correlates to the main quest. But the last episode, one of the people from Clone Wars was introduced in the show and it was pretty cool. But the whole episode, like, I mean, the whole show was like a fucking Star Wars Western, but they cranked up the fucking good, the bad, the ugly, and Akira Kurosawa vibes like to the max. Like it was just awesome. So I love that show, but I've grown a love for it now. But I'm not gonna write fan fiction over it. But getting back to the topic, before we got sidetracked by somebody talking about animes, I would love for her to like find out like what is the psychology behind people that like literally spend the time like hours upon hours to write fan fictions on something. Like what brings them to that, and then what brings them to writing erotic like gay fan fictions.
lack of sex. There, I
Well,
just saw
That's a good.
well,
That was
a
my
lot of them
guess.
are girls. A lot of them are girls who write this fan fiction. Like, I guess they see pornography as, it's too vulgar, but you use a written word and there's a certain, it's like not as much of a physical reaction as an emotional one.
Mm-hmm.
So they see it as a,
Look, Harry Potter was written by some crazy bitch in her car, like living in her car with kids. Like, and she's not that good looking at all. Like,
So was
train wreck.
J.K. Rowling actually writing fan fiction of something else,
but she
and
was
then people wrote fan fiction of her shit that was actually fan fiction. So it's a fan fiction of a fan fiction of a fan fiction.
Just like
It's like anime. You get to that point, it's like so much based off the same shit. It's like a human centipede of like garbage,
Well,
of
okay.
garbage writing.
Here, But
Nobody wants to touch my bum. I guess I'll write a fan fiction.
you
Well,
know,
for hating God so much, like there's a lot of similarities between like the tale of like Harry Potter and like Jesus and shit,
yeah, Harry's like Jesus. He showed up, was all important, didn't do shit, and then they tried
He
to kill
died,
him.
he came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died and came again. Like it was funny, like, all the Jesus people like really hate Harry Potter, but like there's a lot of similarities. Maybe that's why they hate him.
I might honestly it might be, but I've noticed that too. That well, not too, but I noticed that like of all the characters in Harry Potter's like the least fucking important character, and yet he is the most important character. Like, what does he do? He fucks up half the time. His smarter and hotter girlfriend that doesn't actually become his girlfriend, but friend that happens to be female, like does all 90% of like the smart people shit and like helps his ass. Ron just like fucks up too, and like everybody else is like helping him. They're like, "Oh, you're so important. Like, let's get you to
So
point
the
A
whole
and talk
time,
to person A."
up until the
Well,
last, up until like the last Harry Potter, I thought that Harry Potter was a closeted homosexual. Like straight up, I swear to God, I thought he was gonna be some closeted homosexual, and it turns out he gets married. So,
well,
like,
it's
I'm
not
just
even
like,
that. He's like banging his like best friend's like young sister.
Yes.
Like
yeah,
it's pretty
like it's just
disturbing.
it's disturbing as shit. Like, yo, this dude's a total Jerry Sandusky pervert. Like, what the fuck?
Oh god, he's one of those people that they're gonna like build statues of, and then like when he's like in his 80s or oh no when he dies actually they're gonna start like questioning him like, well, Harry, saved the world, but complicated guy, what can I say, like had some weird sexual proclivities, his wife, I mean, how much younger was she again, like when they married, like come on
Yeah,
guys.
she's
And then they start tearing down Harry's statues, and like they had like a holiday probably named after him, like Harry Potter Day, that they're like canceling. Harry's gonna get canceled.
yeah. Well, I know like J.K. Rowling's like getting canceled right now because she doesn't like trannies that much.
Yeah, dude, base JK here, like she's one of those turfs, as they call them. She's a feminist, except when it comes to the trannies. So it's like, it's interesting. There's literally a section on Wikipedia page for Jacob Rowling, under views, and it says transgender people. I think it's great. I mean, look, I
Yeah,
love Harry Potter, but this is just funny.
Yeah, I just don't really care for J.K. Rowling, but
Yeah.
a broken clock is right twice. People, as much as the media makes it out that like everyone has this like monolithic mindset, very few people actually do. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, like I've learned too, like when you talk, and I've noticed this, but like it's been amplified. Like when I on my campaign job, everybody has their fucking issue. Their one thing they give a shit about, and that's it. And then they have their one thing that they fucking like get triggered over. It's like it's ridiculous. Like you have people that literally vote. I talked to one guy, but awesome volunteer. He literally supports Trump. Most like his biggest reason is because he moved the embassy to Jerusalem. I know people that jumped off the Trump train because he banned bump stocks. I know people that love Trump because he is just politically incorrect and they don't care about anything else. Like, it's like there's so many fucking reasons people do shit. Like, it's just, again, it's irrational.
Well, that's what makes politics so hard. Like, how do you appease all these like vastly different and like autistically like like
Diverse.
focused people?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they just care about the most stupidest shit. Like, oh, like let's say oh Trump's like left-handed or something. That's why I'll vote for him. Like, you have people who would do that.
Yep.
Then you have people who'd be like, oh well, he went to what was it, U of P? I went to U of P. That guy has my vote. Like,
Yeah.
just stuff that is so freaking inconsequential. We're like, oh, he went to U of P. I don't like that. I like Harvard more. Screw him. I don't need Joe Biden probably went to like, Kentucky, bumblefuck nowhere university, but at least it isn't U of P.
Well, look at how many times, these candidates win their home states. Like it's almost like forget, just given. Except of course in Trump's case with New York. But it's like when you think about it, it makes no fucking sense. Just because Joe Biden was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania, doesn't mean he should win PA at all. Like, why should he get more votes there? Mitt Romney's from Massachusetts. Why the fuck should he win that state? Doesn't matter. Unless, of course, you're like governor or something like that. But even then, it's like, it's just silly shit. Man, I'm looking on. Oh, that made me remind me of something. When you mentioned like all these groups, it made me think of like Skulls and Bones and shit. You know that Deus Ex game?
Yeah.
Apparently, they have shit like that in there.
Oh yeah, the first one, it was like so much conspiracy theories. Like it sounds like an awesome game, but I think as the time went on, like they started like I think after Human Revolution, like the next one, they had all these like allegories to racism with like the human
Oh, it got
modified people.
woke.
Yeah. It didn't even make any sense. Like, they were considering like they had Jim Crow laws against people who had like caught like robot enhancements. Like, no, that's not. You can't really compare the two because like it would make more sense if it was like people who didn't have robotic enhancements because they'd be worse because they don't have robot enhancements. You know,
Well,
like
you should. I'm going to get soon, but Steam's having a massive like autumn sale till December 1st, which is a couple days. And Deus Ex, like you can get all the Deus Ex games for I think, oh yeah, only $10. But the first one's only $1. So it's gonna be a good
10
deal.
bucks. Yeah, like the first one I hear was like it was one of those things where if you ever played the older Elder Scrolls games, it's like really complicated and shit, but like it's actually good. And
Mm-hmm.
then as it keeps progressing, it gets like less and less complicated, but like more easy to pick up and play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a pretty sort of like big like revolutionary game in terms of like storytelling and all the AI shit and the philosophy involved. Like apparently it's like a really deep game. So it's interesting. I like that shit. I like those sort of like mind bending, mind fuck type things.
Oh yeah, no, they're awesome.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry Potter, like this is the time of the year they keep playing those things on fucking ABC Family like 10 times a day. Oh, yeah, I've been like browsing the TV, watching shit more so recently because I've been having time for once. So I've been like going through my 800 emails. They're now down to 400. I cut it in half. So I've been doing like shit like that. What have you guys been doing in your spare time? Anything fun or interesting?
I don't know, went down to my parents' house, for the holidays, so that's been nice.
That's good.
Oh my god, there's no fucking way that was a draw.
You saw
I'm
that
sorry.
fight?
I was just sorry, a little distracted. Watched it. Saw a little bit of the fucking Tyson fight. No, Tyson won that fucking fight.
Did you see Jake
He
Paul
got
won his
jobbed.
fight?
He got jobbed. Which okay, it's actually very impressive because like Tyson's like in his 50s
Mm-hmm.
and like he brought it. Like he fucking brought it. Like yeah, no, that's fucking bullshit, man.
Jake Paul won his boxing match against whoever the fuck he was with.
See, yeah, that's a guy that you just want to see knocked out. You just want to see the guy knocked out. It's like fuck.
Such a douchey guy.
Yeah.
It was somebody had a picture of whoever he knocked out like on the floor, and they said, "Oh, found another Biden voter." Oh man. Yeah, I'm looking at the fucking shit on Twitter. They're going nuts over it. Oh boy. It's those guys are. I love how that FBI raided Jake Paul's mansion. Apparently there was some like really fucked up shit there, and like nobody's talking about it anymore. Just like haven't heard a peep about that. I think that was like a video you sent me, Alex, from Keemstar about that.
What with the
Jake Paul
FBI
FBI raid? Yeah.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, I wonder what happened.
I'm gonna check Wikipedia. But yeah, like there's also because I go on Twitter like way too much during this break. There was was his brother Logan Paul is trending because on his fucking podcast he like accidentally like he was like so he's dating like this model, and on his podcast he's talking about like sliding into other girls' DMs like live on his podcast. And he had to like correct himself. He's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah," because they were mentioning his girlfriend. He's like, "That's my ex-girlfriend now." It's like, oh, dude. He's like, "Yeah, I didn't know how I was gonna, say this to the world, but it's out now. We broke up." I'm like, dude, I don't know who'd want to be with that guy.
I don't know. People apparently like that.
He's got that like, I don't even call it frat boy. Like it's like like douchey frat boy like vibe. Like not like the cooler frat boys. They're just like fratty, but like they're all right. He's got that like douchey frat boy vibe. So he gets those type of chicks.
Yeah, I mean he has no problems. Like he's pretty Chad like. That.
Is Logan Chad? That's the question. Is he actually Chad?
Oh, speaking of Chad, what's this like new thing I keep hearing? It's like Chud. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Like the site that you get textbooks from?
No, like I've seen that like a derogatory form of Chad. Like, oh, you're Chud. I thought you just call him a chode or something.
Yeah, let me check the Urban Dictionary. It means cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller. Nope, that's the wrong
it's like
Chud.
a lizard person.
An insult used primarily by people on the socialist left to describe conservatives, reactionaries, members of the alt-right, libertarians, and even mainstream liberals. Generally, the connotation of a very uninteresting and uncool male who contributes very little to society in both terms of productive work and original thoughts/opinions. Well, isn't that ironic?
Oh, so the left just made another new word and they expect people to learn it. Okay, I've seen this before.
Yeah, and they're just describing themselves, of course, but they're projecting. God, chud. Are you a chud, Alex?
No, like it's so stupid. Like call like you could call him a fucking chode. Like it's close enough. You just add an O.
Yeah, but they need their
But you
own
make this
vocabulary.
Like they want to go do this intellectual bullshit. I hate it. I hate these intellectuals, man.
Yeah, fuck them. Oh, speaking of, Jordan Peterson has a new book. See that?
Oh, I didn't read it. I didn't read it.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Well, what's funny is, like, first of all, I'm not a fan of the JP, but his, like, this is how stupid this shit's getting. His own publishing company, the people working for it are, like, losing their shit over it. Number one, he's a fucking liberal. I don't care what you say about dude. He's a liberal. He's not a conservative or a right winger or anything like that. He's not even radical. Number two, it's your own fucking publishing company. What do you like? That's what happens. He's on your like fucking sheet of people you publish. It's just silly shit. It's like this chud thing, just silly shit. It reminded me of something funny because you mentioned Chad. So there is a clip where it's funny because like I'm not a fan of really either of these people, but Nicholas J. Fuentes was I think at a that's right, he blocked us on this account, so I gotta switch it. Damn it, I can't pull it up. This is why I'm not a fan. This guy blocks everyone. So Nick was at a event or something. I forget what he was doing specifically, but he ran into his arch nemesis Charlie Kirk, and so that's a great anime crossover right there that we've all wanted to see IRL just for the meme of it. And Charlie Kirk, I'm not making this up. Like, this makes you just hate Charlie Kirk. Like, it just makes you, like, not want to like him so much that you would side with Nick, even if you disagree with him. He gets into Nick catches him as he's, like, getting into his car. And his car is a fucking Prius. I'm not making this shit up. The supposed like leader of campus conservatism is in a Prius. Prius. It's pretty bad. I'm gonna find the video. But yeah. Oh, and the other thing too is like look at this shit. Like they're comparing it. Like this is like the optics check that you need to have here. I'm posting this in Chad's chat. It gives the Virgin Prius versus the Chad battle tank, and it has the Infowars fucking tank.
Yes.
See, that's the contrast there. Like Charlie Kirk's getting into a fucking Prius where it's Alex Jones, Allie, and Nick are in a fucking like tank going down the streets of Arizona and Georgia.
Yeah, that's badass. It's Chad activity, no chode. Only Chad.
And look at this too. Like I'm gonna find the meme of it, but like Charlie was literally like IRL doing the Virgin meme, like the actual like look of it. I'm gonna find that shit. Yeah, you can play the video, but it's like he didn't even get to like say anything to Charlie because Charlie like gets right into it. He goes, "Hey Charlie, this is this is Nick Fuentes, you know," and then he just gets in the car.
Get to the chopper.
Get into the chopper.
You got to get into the chopper.
Oh.
You got to get out of here. They're trying to kill you.
Yeah, I saw like the weirdest movie the other day called like I think it was The Iron Mask or some shit like that.
Oh, I've heard that movie.
It had the Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was like I feel like they just put them in there because they weren't even like central to the plot. I think they just put in there so that people would watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was some like just weird, stupid shit about like there's so many subplots with like this dude going to like China, like these dudes go to China, you know, and it's just like weird, like they're these prisoners and stuff. Like I don't know, man, and it didn't make any sense, you know, with like a lot of stuff, and like the dubbing was really bad because I think it was like in Chinese or Russian or something.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, but like they dubbed it over, and you could tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've noticed that too with some movies. Like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly's that way because it was shot in Italy by an Italian director, of course, but Clint Eastwood and a few of the other actors were speaking English, but other people weren't. It was because everybody was speaking their native language. It's really weird and confusing, like, because there were some people speaking Italian, some in English, so you could literally tell, like, Eastwood was, like, perfectly synced up because he was speaking English, but other actors were, like, totally not synced up because they were speaking other languages.
I know they do that, like, when the German dub, or the German version of the Terminator came out, they dubbed Arnold's voiceover even though he spoke German.
Yeah.
Because he sounded like a fucking hillbilly. Like his accent was like some like hillbilly like German accent, and they didn't think it would be appropriate to have the Terminator sound like, you know, Cletus.
Yeah.
German.
Let's see what two movies I actually saw recently. I finally saw the first Bad Boys movie, which I don't know why that gets a bad rap. I thought that was great, and then when I saw it was directed by Michael Bay, I was like shocked. I was like, what? He directed that? I thought it was great. Another movie that was like, I saw that I didn't expect to like. I've seen clips of it, but like little parts of it on TV was Battleship. I'm not making this shit up. It is based off the fucking Hasbro game. You know, Battleship, right?
Yeah.
But they take it, they throw Liam Neeson in it, who's literally on the sidelines most of the movie. I mean, really, he doesn't need to be there. And it has fucking aliens in it attacking, like, the battleships.
Battleship to E4?
What was that?
You know, it's like, oh, I'm like going to attack E4 over here.
Yeah.
A little thing on there.
They don't do any of that, which I think is good. But it's one of those movies that you kind of need to turn your brain off to enjoy it. Like, if you get, like, all serious about it, you're, like, probably not going to like it. but it's just so fucking American. Like, that was what I came away from it. It's like probably the most American movie ever made. There's glorified U.S. military porn, like throughout the whole thing. Like so many sweeping shots of the battleships, the U.S. flag, and like our fucking like armed forces. They play Fortunate Son in the credits. They have like all this rah rah like fuck yeah sort of like talk. There's like massive explosions. There's like a hot model that's like his girlfriend. There's Liam Neeson in it. Well, he's not American, but whatever. It's like it's just like so like you'd get it like after you see like this is like the most American. Rihanna's fucking in it. I mean, it's like it's just hilarious. Like it's like it's one of those movies that you could argue it's so. I don't want to say it's so bad. It's good because it's not like bad, but it's like it's just so like it felt like it's directed by Peter Berg, who does a lot of good movies, but just felt like somebody was just like literally went yes and fuck yes to every decision. It was like, yeah, we're just gonna blow shit up. Like we're gonna have aliens. Yeah, it's gonna be Battleship of Aliens. It feels like something like that.
Oof.
It's fun. It's just funny. It's a good time. No alcohol required.
Man, there's that whole list of movies that you need to watch, and I don't know if you watched them yet, but you need to watch them.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going through my listy list because I need to catch up on like some other like show. Like I still haven't finished that recent season of Billions because I like stopped halfway, but once I'm gonna do that hopefully soon. And I just have so many little things I want to get to. I want to do some extracurriculars that we were talking about, Alex. Remember?
What character?
Extracurricular.
Oh, extracurricular.
Remember we were brainstorming it the other night?
Oh yeah, we gotta do that.
Yeah.
At some point.
Don't want to reveal that on air yet.
Yeah.
Look at the thing I posted in Chad's. Doesn't he look like the meme?
The Chud's chat. Is that what's gonna be now?
Chud's chat.
The Chode chat.
Yes. Dude, look at that.
Let's go. Oh god, he looks so fucking lanky.
I know. Doesn't he look like the fucking meme?
Yeah.
And then I mean, dude,
like he has money. You don't need to be driving a pussy mobile.
I know.
He's trying to be liberal.
He might be.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Some say he's gay, but he has a girlfriend now publicly.
Yeah, watch her be one of those girls with a penis.
Yeah, Michael Jackson had a public girlfriend too.
Oh. Point taken. Yeah,
Jerry Sandusky had a wife and children.
That's true. Oh boy, poor Charlie. That's why I think oh god, what the fuck is that? That's why I look at it and I'm like, how hard can it be to compete with Turning Point? How hard can it be?
Yeah, just start off by not driving a Prius.
I have a Malibu, baby. That's a start.
At least it's not a Prius.
Yeah. Worst car ever. Trump supporters rallying in Tokyo. Yo, what is this?
Dude, I showed you that thing. Japan's pretty base.
Pretty base. Dude, look at this.
That one guy, find your love in Japan.
Oh, he cracks me up.
He's like an incel. But a cute incel, not the type that shoot up a school, What are they doing in Tokyo? That's funny, yes. my God. Did you see that, Phil?
What's up?
The Japanese Trump rally?
Mm.
Like, that's not really rallies, just like people in Japan like go to both sides like praising Trump. Like, they're an interesting country. They're weird. It's like a lot of Asia, you know, they do a bunch of weird shit. But they're probably more conservative than the United States.
Oh boy.
We want the Trump to get the office.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm back.
It's very.
Uh,
It's a very important.
I think it's funny. Like, dude, like some of these foreign countries are fucking more pro-Trump than half the people in this country.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's awesome. I mean, the Japanese, though, they are maybe a little too base for my taste. They are very conservative, to say the least.
Dude, I like those Japanese, like, you know, they're an island to themselves. Like
So
the
you like the anime,
Koreans
is
and the
what you're saying.
Chinese. Well, I think the anime, they're like like it's like the media over here, you know, they're just a bunch of liberals for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. Like, we'd have to go and like get an anime person on here to discuss the you know, how bad, like, that's why I guess a lot of people on like the sort of, you know, that sort of sphere, like the 4chan sphere, they kind of like animes because it's probably like less cucked than American media.
Dude, they have like, what's it? Fucking what's it called? God, incest anime. They have, hyper homosexual anime. They
Okay, like, look at the shows that we have over here. We have Game of Thrones. You know, that's both of those. You know,
it doesn't
we
have
have
hyper homosexuality.
like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and like all sorts of gay
Yeah,
sex shows
isn't it?
going
Isn't it
on.
crazy how Game of Thrones ended up? Like which incest couple is gonna rule the Seven Kingdoms? Like, what the fuck?
Pretty
much.
realist.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That show is based on realism. Anime is just like random dude, random guy look at each other, and the girl goes, "Oh my god," and then the guy goes, "Hey there, lady," and then he spills some ice cream, and she goes down to like pick it up, and it's like you find out later it's his sister, and they're like banging, and like that's how they go.
I
Sometimes
don't. You watched that Goblin King or whatever,
Goblin
Goblin
Slayer.
Slayer. They didn't
sometimes
have
it's
any of
a
that shit.
Yeah, they had rape. That's what they had. Rape, graphic rape.
Yeah, by a
By
goblin.
goblins that were like Syrian migrants that looked
sometimes
stereotypically
there's a
Jewish.
dude.
See, it's
Sometimes
space.
there's an alien with tentacles having his way with a woman on the
You
fucking.
see?
Yeah, that's a hentai. That's like different, you know.
Oh, it's different.
That's like
You're an anime
comparing, you know, you're
apologist now.
watching Game of Thrones and then you're watching like, you know, Skinamax or something, you know.
You're
That's what
becoming
they
an
call it.
anime apologist. That's what it sounds like to me.
I don't know, man. I was watching, like, I was going through like 4chan the one day they showed me this American cartoon like Steven Universe. It's about like lesbians and this like having sex with this like little boy and stuff. It's really weird.
You were with me when we crashed how many anime conventions?
That was pretty funny.
It
Yeah,
was funny, but we were seeing a lot of degeneracy.
yes, there's a lot of degeneracy there. You also see a lot of degeneracy. Like, look at the gay pride parade. You know, that's probably that you know. There's two American cultures out there. I was like listening to those.
Yeah, but when you
What was
go
it
to
that?
like fucking, Star Wars Celebration or Comic-Con, you're not
You
like going,
probably see some of the same shit. I've never been to Comic-Con. I don't know. I imagine the Star Wars crowd. You know, they're probably pretty bad over there too.
but it's not to the same level. At least I
I
think.
guess.
I hope.
I don't know. I've never been to any, so you have to go and crash that now too.
I was
Maybe on
gonna
Crash
say
Comic Con or like some Star Wars anime like convention or like Nerd Con. I don't know.
we're gonna have to put that on our map next.
Hey, Crash the Furry Convention too while we're at it.
Yes. See, that's another thing. Anime has like an offshoot, like a spin-off, which is fucking furries. Do you have any of
No,
that?
you saw that documentary. That wasn't from anime. That was from like Fritz the Cat, which was American made.
So they like hijacked something. They got inspiration from something that was normal, and then they made it weird and made their own thing.
Well, no, so you had like I think I showed you the anime. I thought it was like that down the rabbit hole thing. Not anime, the documentary, and it was like they had like Mickey Mouse and shit, and then that was fine, and they made Fritz the Cat, which was like the adult version, and people like got off to this because there was like nudity and sex, so they started making like underground like furry comics, and people started being off to it, and now you have a whole generation of people like raping like ponies and stuff.
Oh God.
Like that's American, that Brody thing. That's
That's
not
true.
Japan. That's
I'll give you
American made.
that one. We have the bronies. We do have the bronies. Oh fuck.
Like which is worse? Like I mean, I'd say the Bronies probably are worse.
They're worse,
They're
but
pretty
they're
bad.
small. They're in smaller numbers, and they're kind of
Oh, I think
dying off now, aren't they?
well, I think they've merged. They're starting to merge with the furry community.
Oh boy, they're merging.
They're becoming one.
This is the worst merger since Time Warner and Comcast.
Yes.
Oh god, I'm on that Nobita from Japan dude's channel. Dude, his most watched videos are fucking funny. The first one, what worries Japanese girls about dating Western guys?
Well, it's probably a warning, like, hey, try be careful about these people, because who do you think's coming to Japan to find love? It's probably like the anime nerd, and he's probably gonna like ask to like sniff their panties and shit.
And the next that's his most watched video, by the way. I'm going down like from most popular to least. Then number 2 is why many Japanese women work in prostitution. Number 3, what Japanese girls think of Western guys. Why this Japanese girl got married to a porn actor. What types of foreigners do Japanese like the least in Japan? What Japanese girls find attractive. 10 types of Japanese girls in Japan. Being a porn director in Japan. Why this Japanese girl chose to become a porn star. 3 red flags in dating Japanese girls. The problem with dating Japanese girls. Top 10 reasons not to move to Japan. I think you're getting the picture here.
He doesn't want people to move to Japan. He wants to go and like have all the Japanese ladies to himself.
Fucking Chad. 5D chess Chad right here. He's hilarious.
Well, because like look at like the people that you would think would be going to Japan. It's not the best and brightest. It's like the anime nerds, the weeaboo. They're probably like 500 pounds, and they're gonna like try to smuggle a katana into the country that they bought off like eBay or some shit.
Oh, that reminds me of something I'm gonna mention next. But this one fucking video, like the thumbnail alone, it just says Muslims are okay in Japan? Question mark. Oh God, why do Japanese people? What do Japanese people think about Muslims? Yeah,
Well,
he
I
goes
mean,
from that, and then the fucking thumbnail just says Muslims are okay in Japan? Question mark.
it's a different country, like they, like look at Japan. How many people do you think that aren't Japanese live over there?
That's true. That's true. It's very monolithic. Cheating is okay. Japanese girls, what?
Oh God.
Is Japan racist? Japanese guys approach foreign girls. Oh God, this reminds me of my one Chinese friend. There's a picture of him on his thumbnail. It says "Dear Logan Paul," and he's giving like a frustrated face, like with his hands on his head. That reminds me of my Chinese friend because he would do that, something like Logan Paul. I need to watch all these. He has really good thumbnails, though, I have to say. 'Cause he always puts like some like cute girl, or like him doing like some like crazy face on it. MILF porn actress, what? Chinese child or Japanese Japan's child abduction. I can't read tonight.
I know China has
Japan.
a really bad child abduction thing.
Dude, we need to watch this one. Satisfying female sexual desires, Japan.
You have to have some tentacles for that.
Oh,
Probably
God.
not. Like, honestly, there's like, I don't know, I read something about like, apparently incest is like an actual issue in Japan.
Really? Like,
I don't know how true it is, but like, I read something and it was like, yeah, because all the men are out like working like 40, like, you know, like 12 hours a day, like 6 days a week, and then all the women have nothing to do at home, so they raise their kids, and then they are like you know, apparently there was something back in like the samurai days, and there was some like weird stuff that would happen. Like, let's say the father died, then like I think the son was like expected to go like marry the sister to become the man in the house or something.
God.
And
Oh,
someone told me there was like this weird like Japanese like game show that like I don't know if it was like an actual game show or like a porno thing, but like you know they'd have you know, the son, like, he'd be blindfolding it to go and, like, he's getting the blowjobs. He had to kind of figure out which one was his mom.
what the fuck?
I read that. That was somewhere on 4chan, you know, so
Take with a grain of salt,
mileage
then.
mileage may vary, but I could see it with some of like, the fact that that's a whole genre over there.
Dude, this one video, we gotta watch this one. It says, my take on weeaboos as a Japanese.
Yes. You have to watch that at some point.
Oh, God. Dude, this makes me want to go to Japan now. Shit. I
You
could
go
see
to
why the weeaboos do it, because, like, you know, if they can't get laid, they just go to Japan, and, like, you're, like, the fucking white man out
Dude, but I don't
there.
think they don't like them though.
That's
They
what
already
I was.
have military out there that are like actual Chads. What are they gonna get from like a neckbeard like weeaboo going over there like sucking up like sake and like you know buying up all the panties?
Well, what if some, like, Chad, like, an actual Chad goes to Japan? Like, will they be like, ha? Or will they be like, no?
Well, like they have military people who are stationed there. I mean, Phil, like weren't you stationed in Japan at some point? Oh,
Do we lose Phil?
I think we may have lost.
We started talking about weebs, and then we lost Phil. God damn it. Oh, well. We will get him back and ask him. Maybe Big Al will come on. We can ask him. I'm gonna give this fucking guy a like on Facebook. Yo, we gotta get him on the show.
Yes.
Dude, we gotta get him on the radio. That'd be awesome.
Oh my God. When I'm gonna tell me what his thoughts on the anime question are.
The AQ.
Yes.
Oh my God, was he at one of those like YouTube conventions?
Oh my God.
Dude,
He
look at
needs
his
to be-
Insta. I
Oh,
know you
I
have one of those because you couldn't get banned from that yet.
Post his Insta.
Yes. Some native Japanese guy. Dude, you're more than that. You're fucking a legend.
Nobita from Japan. Oh, did he go to like VidCon or something?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, look at that.
But it might be a Japanese version. I don't know.
But that's just hilarious. Imagine if like YouTube like actually like invited him to like speak on a panel.
First time at YouTube Space Tokyo. Okay, yeah, that's where he's at.
There you go. Oh, it's probably one of those like pop-up like things.
I wonder how popular YouTube is in Japan.
I would think it's pretty popular, I would think.
I don't know enough. It's like maybe they have their own version.
They're not
that's
like
just
China where they just ban everything.
Yeah, but I don't know if they'd like it.
I don't know. We need to get him on the show and ask him. We need to do it. He's hilarious. I got his name now. It's Nobita. He's interesting. Wait, what? Nobita Nobi is one of the two main protagonists of the Doraemon anime series. Wait, so you're telling me his name was a lie? His name's from an anime?
Oh, probably. He's from Japan.
It's his gamer tag.
It's the anime tag.
Oh, that reminded me. I was watching this show on Nat Geo called, I think it wasn't Border Wars, but it's like a new version of it. it's like these dudes that working at like an airport, and all these other guys are like busting people with drugs. But this one dude at the airport, he looked like Greg Gutfeld, and he was funny like him too. They were searching through this guy's shit. Like, this guy was from like Nigeria, and he was coming through, and they were flagging him because they thought they had like heroin on him. And he's like coming up, and they're like searching through his bags. He's like a really tall dude, and so they're going through his shit, and they find like pants that are really short. And so like, oh, I'm a size. This like one border patrol dude's like, oh, I'm like a size 32. I'm about as tall as you. You wear a size 32, right? And he's like, yeah, yes, 30 to 34. And they're like, well, then why do you have like 28 length pants in here? And he wasn't. He's like, he's like not come up with an answer. He goes, there's spandex. And then the border patrol guy goes, he's like, oh, do they stretch lengthwise? Like up and down. And he was like confused by that. And they were just like fucking with him, like in like I mean, they're doing their job up, but like they're like fucking with him because he's like not giving them answers and shit. And they're like, oh, do you know this guy? Like, they brought him in for like some like interrogation shit. And he's like, oh, yes, he's a friend. And he's like, oh, really? He's been in America just like you are. He's like, really? He's like, yeah, he's been in America 9 years. Really? Yeah, in prison. And so they're like, this dude like had the weirdest connections. Like, they ended up like not finding anything on him, which was crazy. Like, they even like x-rayed him to like see if there are drugs that he swallowed. Like, you know that what they'll do is like they'll put the drugs in like a condom and they'll swallow it and then they'll shit it out.
Dude, speaking of condoms, man, I was at Walmart today. Apparently they have like this weird new birth control where like women spray this like gel in their pussy or something. It's supposed to be a birth control. I'm like, I don't trust that shit.
Wait, what? That's
It was
a
like
fucking
for like
spray, like a fucking like Roundup, but for like birth control.
no, it's not a spray. It's like a gel.
Oh.
They like put in their coochies.
Okay, I'm gonna Google that. Actually, before I Google that, no, I'll Google that first. Let's talk about the coochie stuff first. I was gonna tell you something that you probably don't know that's very interesting that I saw on Nat Geo too. Let's see. Do you remember like what they called it?
I just know it's like it was in the discount section for like $2.74, so I don't know if it worked that well.
What store were you
It was
at?
right. So Walmart, and then it was like right next to these like, what was it, like baby diaper like rash stuff. So I was like, yeah, it's probably an issue.
Oh God. I'm gonna search for birth control on Walmart.
Birth control.
It's a fucking gel. Oh, I found it. I fucking found it. VCF vaginal contraceptive pre-filled gel applicators.
Yeah.
Safe and effective, hormonal-free, easy to use. Well, there's
don't
only one
trust
way to
that.
find out if this works, Alex.
That's probably was in the discount section.
Let's read the reviews. Yeah, it's a piece of shit. Got her pregnant. Literally, the first review I see says pregnant over this crap. Now pregnant. Followed instructions for several months and boom, pregnant at a few months. Don't trust.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Goodbye, pesky
pissed.
birth control. Yeah, I'm just gonna DM shit to you now, so I'm not blowing up everybody else's. Oh, by the way, you know what I'm doing now for my PC? First of all, I bought everything now, except the CPU and the GPU. So, desperate times call for desperate measures. I am now following a Twitter account that's basically a bot that finds like when the shit's available and then tweets about. So I have notifications for that account that will tweet out when there's 3080s available and Ryzen 900Xs. I think that's the model number. And there's also a Discord of this account too that you can specifically get notifications for that shit too, of the specific site, like product listing and everything. So I'm going all out to get my hands on those things.
Good.
It's wild, dude. There's like random like mini drops here and there of like combos, but apparently in December there's going to be some, hopefully more drops. We'll see.
I'm reading more of these things. Makes you numb.
Oh god.
Very sticky, washes out, very hard, painful, and itchy, inside, outside for both partners. Oh my god.
Oh my god, did you see the pregnant person that actually posted a
Yeah.
fucking ultrasound picture?
Empty tube, tarot proc found 2 empty tubes. Like, did someone, like, steal it?
That's Walmart for you. Too sticky. Because the foam isn't so, there's fucking foam.
Oh god.
And the film is too complicated for me, and I did not like it at all. Extremely sticky, messy during use, almost like a tacky glue. Ew. So they're saying during use. What use are we talking? Are we talking when we're doing the deed?
Oh god, like it just. I'm gonna go and look up Amazon reviews.
So it was all good and dandy until I gave oral, and then realized it made my lips numb, and my boyfriend said the same thing. Oh god.
It made her look like, what's she doing? Is she like a dog?
I think it was from he did oral on her, and then she started kissing him, and it went on her.
Oh.
Or that's what I'm guessing. It's just what I'm guessing. I mean, we don't know what they do in their bedroom. Bless you, sir.
Check on fucking Amazon.
Amazon.
Let's look at reviews.
Oh god, it's got some not so hot reviews on Rite Aid here. Was this like 3.5 stars?
It burned my vagina. Stung so bad. Took a few days to recover. Holy shit.
Well, give like your vagina a bee sting. Oh god, it's
Oh
gonna
god,
come
like
up my
chemical
Amazon
burn.
account now. I should get this from my girlfriend. Be like, hey, you know, we don't have to do the IUD anymore. We got this. Do you trust
Don't
it?
trust that shit. Not only does it stick to my finger nearly every single time, I end up pregnant anyway, so gel is way better, but I'm still pregnant and lol. And I completely followed instructions on both. I'm sure it works for others. Oh.
Legal disclaimer. Statements regarding dietary supplements have not been evaluated by the FDA. What the fuck's that to do with dietary? You eat it?
Gave this person multiple urinary tract infections. Oof.
It does have high ratings though.
Why I see people getting like urinary tract infections and like open packs? Apparently that's a common occurrence.
Oh god. Burning and itching. Okay. I would not trust this shit. It's just weird. Like, how do you know you're doing it right?
Impossible to install. What is this fucking computer part?
It's my power supply. Can't get the graphics card in the hole.
Burns. Oh god, so frustrating.
Speaking of, I did get my power supply today.
Oh goody.
Fucker's heavy, dude.
Did you play with the cords?
Dude, I wasn't taking out that because it was packed so neatly so that it fit in the box, and the box was already jam-packed. I was just like, nah, I ain't touching that shit. Oh, but I should, because apparently they were stiff. You're right. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I have to go and look it.
Yeah, no, we're not playing with that, sir. We're playing for power supply.
Make it soft.
Oh, God. Squeeze it till it gets soft.
Yeah, showed a picture of Hillary Clinton. I'll make it soft.
I always love that joke. Dude, whoa. The Trojans maximum XLs are only getting a 3.9. Are these fucking incels rating this thing? Oh, it didn't fit.
God.
I'm not saying this to brag, but like, they do work. Only comms that fit. Yeah, fuck off, dude. The author's name is Bless Wifey. After trying many condoms, these are the only ones that we found fit my husband somewhat comfortably. We had about 5 break in the past 3 years during use. So if you're avoiding pregnancy, don't rely solely on the condom from prevention. Well, what the fuck are you having 5 break for? What are you doing?
I think that she's like making this up to say, "Oh, my husband has a big cock."
So big, they just break every time. 15
And have like,
inches is a review headline. Never have I ever had like my condom fit 15 inches.
all right, if you're 15 inches, like that's the thing, the world record.
That's bull. It's by Mega Man. That's his name. Mega Man. And his review just says 15 inches. Never have I ever had my condom fit my 15 inches girth is gray as well. This review is collected as part of a promotion. What?
Wait, 15 inches wide? Like that seems physically uncomfortable.
Dude, this was originally posted on Trojan. Yes, he recommends that product.
Someone's fucking.
Yeah, they're fucking around, dude. Great for BBCs. I bought these for my BBC and they came in clutch. They did not rip and easily fit my Anaconda. Dude, this is funny. We couldn't talk about this on the radio. Maybe we should get on serious. Let's pay some Howard Stern money.
Oh God, I'm going through Facebook. I see it's like one person who talked about like pussy juice, and I was like a kid.
Oh God.
It's like weird trailer trash people.
Why are you following trailer trash on Facebook?
Because it's funny. Like this person posts most stupid shit. Like they should not be posting it like publicly. Fucking funny. I'm pretty sure she's like a crack addict at some point.
Dude, this one review needs a longer version. I tried this out on my 12-inch and I gotta say, the girth is good, but there needs to be a version that's even longer for those of us who are very well endowed. Yeah, sure, dude. Sure. I will say, like, these the reason I like these was because they're, like, very, like, you don't really, I mean, condoms suck, but they're, like, the least sucky of them I found. Like, you get what you paid for.
At least with those, you know, they're probably like the most reliable, and it puts the man in charge of like that versus like trust, which you should like never fucking do.
Never what?
Never trust that. Never trust a woman with birth control alone.
Well, what if they're like, you know, what if it's an IUD and you know that's what they have?
I don't know, man. What they pull out one day, you don't notice it.
That would be a fucking bitch move.
I know, and it's like, what can you do at that point, you know?
You do, I will say, like, you're gonna know because there's a different smell. Like, there's a distinctly different smell. And taste.
I don't know, man. People forget. People say, "Oh, it's out," or like they move it around, so it like isn't effective.
Oh God, that doesn't happen unless you like literally like, cause it's up there, dude. Like it's fucking up there.
You pull it out so you won't notice it.
You can't.
You know,
That's
in the middle
painful,
of it.
and you can't do that. They literally.
Know,
do you know how they put those things in? They literally, they like. Think of it like, I don't know exactly what the tool is, but this is basically like what it does is it like goes in there. It's like a fucking spreader. Like they have to spread the vagina to get into the, what's it called? Like the uterus. And then they shove a tube up there and like fire it in there. And it like, you know, it like hits the wall and like locks in place. And
like they tell you, you know, it's fine. And like they schedule an appointment unbeknownst to you.
Oh God.
It's gone.
Or there's a little string, so like, you know, you just like put your finger up there.
Oh you God. Know, the string gets cut, or they like just put string in there. Like I don't know, like there's some pretty crazy people. Like I had some before, like this girl, like, you know, like this is why you always bring your own condoms too, because like she poked a bunch of holes.
Dude, that's the worst.
Yeah, because like she knew he was gonna leave.
Well, that's what I say. Yeah, that's pretty nasty, even for some like douchebag. But like, that's like if it's some rando girl that you just met, like definitely yeah. But if like you know this girl, you love her, you know, I'd hope you've built the trust up enough that she wouldn't like sneak one on you where she like pulls that shit out and then it's like, oh yeah, it's just another night together. But if you get some rounds like, oh yeah, I'm on birth control, no, don't take that chance.
Yeah, that's why you get like I don't know, like that. Like, see, let's say you're in the future and you're like, oh, I don't want kids, just to fucking. And be like, oh, I'm pregnant. Like, bitch, I ain't mine. I
Wait, what
caught
was
you.
that? You cut out there.
Yeah, like I read somewhere like some guy got like fucking vasectomy, so you get all these like ladies, and if they said they had a kid, you could like, yep, I'll check that shit.
Yeah. Dude,
Well, cause
vasectomies are
like
tempting because you can reverse it technically.
I don't trust that.
I don't either, but hey, hey, it's happened. People have done it. They get them, they reverse them.
I don't. I know for like women, like they can get their like tubes untied, like and that's relatively safe. But like once a vasectomy's done, it's a tough one. So maybe it can happen, but I don't know. Maybe like newer stuff, but it's you mess with that, get the worst case scenario, man. Maybe you get your balls back, maybe you don't.
Yeah, well, if you're really devoted and you don't want kids too, like, just cut that shit. And then if you change your mind, you can change your bits.
Yeah, no, like I think my uncle had that happen. Like his fucking like nuts and inflated like 3 sizes because it like he like lost fucking. I don't know, man. You have to be careful. Like there can be some side effects too for that.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Like I learned about 'em in that sex ed class that my girlfriend and I took over the summer, and I forget like all the details of it. But like afterwards, she kept asking, she's like, "Oh, would you ever do one?" I was like, "I would actually consider it now."
You're the gay old man.
What?
I thought
Oh
the gay
yeah.
guy was
Oh
the
yeah,
sex
the
ed teacher.
class. Yes, yes. No, I would not consider him if that's what you were asking.
I'll have to say like I don't think that even matters for him if he's gay.
No, 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 no. I said my girlfriend kept asking me after that, like, lecture. Like, she was like, "Oh, would you ever consider doing one, like a
Dude,
vasectomy?"
don't mess with that until you're like. I don't even think they'll let you get one till you're in like your either you have like kids or you're like in your 30s or something
Yeah,
because
I
you don't want
forget
to.
the details of it. I know it does worry me. Like, just the idea of, like, he showed us videos, um, of like the process, like an animation of how they do, it, and it's like, oh god. Okay, this one thing says it's permanent. Like when I Google, it says it's permanent.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
He told
It
us
is.
it's reversible.
Mm, don't trust it.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with that age, man.
Oh, this is what it says on a Mayo Clinic. It says, before getting a vasectomy, you need to be certain you don't want to father a child in the future. Although vasectomies reversals are possible, vasectomies should be considered a permanent form of male birth control. I don't know, man. You can fuck whatever you want and no consequences. Well, there are consequences, but like potential bleeding or blood clot inside the scrotum, blood in your semen, bruising on your scrotum, infection of the surgery site, mild pain or discomfort or swelling. God, that's an interesting thing though. Can you imagine being a doctor doing that? Like that's your job, just cutting
Oof,
people up by their
it's like
dicks.
seeing nuts every day. Being like a
Like a what?
being like a dick doctor, be like, oh no. Like at least, well, I mean, gynecologist, honestly, that's probably worse because like those things really fucking nasty.
Yeah.
Like especially just like unclean people, it's like
Oh,
stinking and they have like infections and like, oh man,
get some like
like
old bum.
that probably turn people fucking gay. 'Cause it's like I don't want to see that again.
Yeah, dude. Your environment does influence you. The thing I was gonna mention too was we were watching like Nat Geo that one night. They were showing a 15-minute preview of this like show called Trafficked, and it's like this chick like going down into these basically like drug territories, like where these drug wars happen, and like investigating it. She was down in Jamaica, which once you get outside of the resorts where all the fat American tourists are at, you get to the was it Jamaica? I'm already forgetting. Oh no, sorry, it was the Bahamas. I was thinking of Jamaica from Bond because I was watching some Bonds too. It was it's all the clips online. I can send this to my girlfriend because I think she'd be interested in this. It was in the Bahamas, and this is the craziest thing too was so they're down there and they're talking about the crime that's outside of it, outside these resorts, and she's gonna go investigate it. And oh wait, no, this was Jamaica. But what's the place where they go, yeah man, yeah man? That's Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
Fuck, I think it is Jamaica. I need to check this actually. But anyway, you get the idea. It's one of those type of countries. And, there's lots of gangs there. And there's always kind of been gang violence, but it's increased recently. Now, I would love to see if you could guess this. There's been a spike in gang violence, but it's not over drugs. It's not over, I'll just say drugs. It's not over drugs, which is what a lot of gang violence and gangs are about. What do you think it is that they are fighting over so badly, and it's getting so ugly that the murder rates are going through the roof?
Was it toilet paper? Are you doing that again, please?
It actually is not. I think this was filmed pre-COVID. Just take a few more guesses. See what you think it could be.
It's not like some Black Lives Matter stuff.
Let me give you a little bit more of a better direction to give. Like, what industry do you think the gangs are getting into now?
Rap.
That's actually kind of it, but it's actually not it.
Not like social media. Oh, TikTok.
Nope. You're gonna laugh when you hear this, but it kind of has to do with what you do for your job. It's fucking scamming.
They've done that for a while, like like fraud, all that stuff.
No. They are making they're making so much money doing nonstop, this is Jamaica. I just checked. Scam calls. They are literally either getting people that work for these call centers to get the information, like the database, like people to call and shit, or they're, threatening these people or paying them off to get the data, like the names and numbers and all that jazz. And they're literally calling people and saying, hey, you just won this big $5 million like a vacation. All you need to do is make one payment of they'll say like $1,000 this month and you'll get your $5 million. And they specifically target, surprise surprise, lonely old people because they're fucking gullible, and they're making so much money, like insane amounts of money, and they're actually having fucking like gang wars over this shit. Like, it's unbelievable. And some of the people they interviewed, they were saying like they had to do it for money because there's like no way to make money in Jamaica. And one lady they were talking to, like her grandfather or father or something, wound up in the hospital. The hospital bills were so insane, she turned to scamming to try and make money, and he ended up dying. But she's laughing at it. She's like, these people are so fucking stupid. Like, we're making so much money off of them. Like, they're just so dumb. And it shocked me. I had no clue in Jamaica that gangs are fucking doing scamming. Like, they're basically doing fucking phishing next, probably. Yeah,
Well,
like
like in Russia, that's a big thing too. Like that's pretty organized. And like Russia and like China, it's state sponsored. I think India, I think they have like call centers. Like half the call centers like legit for like Microsoft. The other people are just scamming.
yeah,
You
I mean,
know,
I've gotten a few of them from India. We keep
like a
getting
lot.
this one that claims they're from Apple, and they're like, we're from Apple. We're calling because we need to get into your phone and hack you and steal all your credit card information. It's pretty bad. Yeah, lottery scamming is what they're calling it. And literally, the funniest, craziest thing. Wow, this is from 2018. How phone scamming has fueled a state of emergency in Japan's tourist cap or Jamaica's tourist capital. They literally had cop cars that said lottery scam task force. Like, could you imagine seeing that? It's like fucking fishing task force. Like,
Well, it's gonna happen soon, I think.
yeah. Well, you know what's crazy too is like I forgot to tell her about this, and I'm gonna tell her about it because I think she might be slightly interested in it. Was so my girlfriend's sister has a new old car, a used car that they got her, and she got a flat tire. And it was on the highway, and I'm still trying to figure out how she actually got it, but my girlfriend and her dad went to her to help her, and she called AAA, and they're waiting for AAA, and this guy comes by in a tow truck and starts yelling at them, saying, "Oh, you can't be doing this. You can't be here. This is illegal. I'm gonna call the cops, but I can get you out of this," or something like that. But I'm calling the cops on you guys. And like he's making all these like weird threats and all that. And was just telling me I fell off. And then a guy from PennDOT came, and the guy that was driving around the tow truck was either still there or came back. And they got into like a fierce argument. But the PennDOT guy was like really nice to my girlfriend's sister, and he was telling them that like, yeah, that guy's a scammer. He literally goes around like trying to make he'll like tell people like he's got to tow their cars. Like he comes up with some weird reasons, and then he takes their
Fuck.
cars, and then their cars never come back. So he
What the
sells
fuck?
them.
Why is this a thing? Why is this a thing?
Dude, it's
Is
wild.
Philly really that fucking like of a scam zone?
Apparently.
How they not get caught? Like, they have cameras and stuff.
Well, that's why I was thinking too. I'm like, well, this guy should get fucking reported. Like, PennDOT, hello, isn't your job to get these people in trouble, lock them up? And what's
Yeah.
crazy too is thinking like, is this guy literally going around at night like looking for fucking like cars that have just blown tires and like is towing them? Like, is that like how often that fucking happen?
No, it's nutty that they even have it. Like I've never heard like of that being in any sort of like civilized location.
Me
Like
neither. Well, do you
like
want to call
honestly,
Philly
people.
civilized?
Okay, yeah, like honestly, someone's gonna like find that truck, like follow it to like the dude's house and beat his ass or something. Call the police. I don't know, man. Like that's ridiculous. So that's still a thing.
I know, dude. That's what like I've had like these weird like dual red pills this like week. One with the phone scams in fucking Jamaica, and now the fucking tow truck scams in Philly. Like I had no clue this shit was happening.
Like I think in Philly, like they'd be liable to get their like ass beat because people in Philly they can be pretty fucking reckless.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's a Forbes article. I think it's talking about it, kind of. Sounds like something similar, not quite, but it was really weird. Like the thing that was weird about it was he was like really like yelling at them and kind of like threatening it. It's like, yeah, that does tap into emotions, but it's not really an effective way to scam people. Like you want to give them a
Yeah,
sense of urgency and fear that way, but not like threaten them.
Yeah, call the fucking police and write down that tow truck number.
Yeah. I don't think they got the tag number, but I'll ask her about that. is crazy, dude. Never heard of this shit before. Fucking tow truck scamming.
See, this is why you should get a garage. Like,
Why?
that's why, like, I couldn't live in a house without a fucking garage.
What, do you think somebody's gonna just tow your car?
Well, like, you have to deal with stuff like that. If you have a garage, how can they tow your car?
Well, this really didn't have to do with a garage, though. I mean, this
I
was
know,
on a
but if it was
highway.
in a... Oh, wait, so this was in the highway where this happened?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's why I
shit.
said it was in Philly on a highway.
Oh, I thought they were just driving around the neighborhood.
No, dude. That'd be freaky as shit. No, I was saying my girlfriend's sister was driving on the highway, got a flat tire, like on the highway. So she couldn't go anywhere. So that's why they called AAA to get a tow truck. But this other dude was just driving around the highway and like was like, "Hey, you gotta leave. Like this is illegal. I'll tow you."
Oh, yeah, no, like that's slightly less fucked up than I thought. Yeah, I know they did that stuff
Still
before.
fucked up.
Still fucked up. I thought they were just like randomly going to like neighborhoods and like towing people's cars.
No, dude. But hey, you just saw something that would be wild if somebody started doing that.
Yeah, like I could always see that in like some crazy places. I'm just like towing. I mean, in Philly though, they probably just go and take the car themselves.
Yeah, they'll probably jack it.
Yeah, like I hear that's a common occurrence too. Why even bother with the tow truck if you feel it?
Yeah. Oh god, fucking Philly. But I've never heard that before. Like people going around with fucking trucks like, "Hey, I'm gonna tow your ass. I'll save you."
Yeah, and then you sign up for it, then you end up like paying out the ass or your car like possessed.
Cause it wasn't like a legit like they weren't even like, "Hey, you need help? You need a tow truck?" It was like, "No, you need to get out of here because this is illegal." That's what they were telling her. It was
Tell her to get
so
the fucking
weird.
police. Get the police.
He was threatening to call the cops, and Tarir said like,
Do it.
"Oh, I name dropped her." Oops. Like my girlfriend was saying, like she like if she was alone, she said she would like literally tell him like, "Yeah, call the cops. Like, do it. Like, yeah. Just do that. Just call the cops on me for getting a flat tire. Yeah, let's do that."
Yeah, I would have wrote down that guy's number and see how far like he wants to keep going with
Oh,
that.
they did get his name. I do remember that. The PennDOT
Did they
dude
get
got his
his-
name.
Did they get the license plate?
I hope so. I don't know.
Press against that.
What was that?
I'd press charges against that person for like
Yeah.
attempting to defraud.
Yep. Fucking tow truck scams. Unbelievable.
There's so many scammers out there, like just everywhere. Like fucking Facebook. I was on Facebook the other day, and I got like this fake like RuneScape ad, but it was like for like RuneScape Play dot like RU or something. I was like, yeah.
Russia.
I was like, yeah, they want me to fish my information. They allow it on Facebook.
That Alex Jones is banned, but that isn't.
Yeah, like they have all sorts of scams. Like you see half the stuff, it's like, oh, pay off your student loans, click here. Or like, looking for like, I don't know, like mail order brides, click here.
Where do you see
All
that email I posted in Hosts where it was like, I don't know who fucking got my hands on my email, but it's like, it says Flutterwave, "Hello, find sex for one night here. Click this link. All hot girls are here."
Dude, when I'm working in the cybersecurity, we have this email box, and it's open up like to customers, and some must have signed us up for like a porno website, and we've been getting like every few hours we'll get like a ton of these like fake like hot single like, "Hi, my name's like Jolene, I'm 28 and I'm down for sex, send me a message." I'm like, let's go. Like someone must have signed us up for like a porn website or something.
Well, I also got this random ass. Oh, maybe this is how they got my info. Actually, wait, no, but I don't have that email on here. I got a weird thing on Facebook where some chick like asked if I normally don't accept friend requests from people I don't know. Yeah.
Hold on, is that person? Because I accepted some. I saw you were friends with them. I thought you were smarter.
Really? Jamie Durr.
Yeah. I thought, yeah, I thought that was a legit person because you friended them. See, now I have to delete this person.
I thought they were legit too because I saw other friends of mine that were friends with her.
Oh, I see. This is why I can't rely on you for that shit. I'm deleting this person. Now they just stole my information. Thank you.
Well, wait, what information do you have showing to your friends though?
Well, no, but it'll like steal like your contact information, your friends on your friends list, and they send out more advertisements.
Uh,
Like that's how it works.
yeah, but she
Like
started like
I have.
DMing me.
What'd she want? Did she like want to see your penis or something?
Well, that would have been interesting.
It's probably a guy.
Well, this is Jamie, or Jamie. I don't even know how you say it because it's not even spelled properly. It just says hello. How are you? Five question marks. I said great. How are you doing? I'm fine, thank you, and I thank you for accepting my friend request. I know we do not know each other, but I would like for us to be friends if you do not mind. I mean, that's perfectly fine. More the merrier. Did I pop up in your suggested friends? And she just goes, I live in East Chester. Which I don't even know if that fucking exists. New York. Where do you live? I'm like, that's the wrong Chester. And then she asks, okay, tell me how old are you?
So you're 12.
Yeah, I should have. But she then stopped talking to me. I'm like, what's up with this? Because what's weird is like what I did do. One things that I've noticed, like that you can easily find out somebody's a fake, is if you just start like back searching their images on Google and you just find the fucking stock photo. Her photos are of a person, but I don't know if he or she stole them from somebody else. And it keeps like
Oh no,
uploading new pictures, which is weird.
they stole it or they hijacked the account.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, there's like a lot of photos of her too. No. You can't trust me for that now. I don't know, dude. Because like I said, 9 times out of 10, I only accept friend requests from people I know. Or people that like I've just been introduced to that are legit. Like I'm very, very picky with my friend requests or accepting of them. There's extreme vetting if you want to get into my Facebook. Extreme vetting. And I don't have any like info on it, but I think my friends can just see my phone number.
Well, I saw the picture and like the one picture must look like she was with Melania Trump, and I was like, oh, you know her, But then I was like, yeah, probably not.
Where's
I
the
just had like
Melania picture? Oh, I think
I
I know
thought
what
there
you
was
were
a
thinking.
yeah, I thought it was Melania.
No, it's not. Unless it's one I didn't see that's been deleted. I have wow, I can't believe mine actually crossed 100, but I have 102 friends now. I'm telling you, I'm really picky. Like everybody on here that I'm looking at, like I know personally. Or have met at some point. Oh god, I see my that's interesting. Did some people, man. Some people. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to shoot some shit off?
Yeah, I think probably pretty good for today.
Yeah. Fabulous. Oh. Guardian Leviosa. Alright, we're gonna look for a new radio gig. After I finally find some 3080s and 5900. Oh, it's 5900X. That's the number. God, dude, those are fucking impossible to find.
Dude, I'm like looking over here and now they like want to go and get a list of like Trump enablers.
Trump enablers? It sounds like a fucking
Yeah.
like,
drug addict, like you're an enabler.
That's what it sounds like. Oh, you're a Trump enabler. Gone. Alright, guys. We'll see all y'all later. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a nice night.